Right, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. We're here probably every Sunday. We'll have to see what happens. I might have got the sack again. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see what happens. And we're just going to talk about the news, and it's going to be laid back chit chat. And we'll probably go on for about 3 hours. But we're here every Sunday. The idea is it's going to be an open house. Anybody wants to come on the show, then come on the show. You're all welcome. The idea behind the channel, or this live stream at least, is just that when England was great, people used to go to the pub and they used to drink and they used to talk to each other and they used to socialize. And that's how ideas get moved around and talked about in an informal manner. And when we stopped going to the pubs and when we started sitting inside and watching TV and going on the internet, then we all became very, very weird. And now we're being conquered by Islam. And this is very, very bad. So the idea is that informal chit chat and talking about politics is a good thing. So this is what we're doing every day on the channel. Today we've got, this week we've got the big, we're in phase 2. We're in phase 2, so we'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about, I suppose, the reform thingamajig.
Yeah.
And whatever else is in the news. I don't know. I can't remember. So, I'll pass it on to you, Tharium. What do you think? Phase 2. We now have a Muslim Home Secretary.
Yeah. It's like it's just trying to spit in our face, really, isn't it? You know, terrifying. What can I do to piss them off the most? And that's what Starmer's thinking. And she's in charge of immigration. A Pakistani is in charge of immigration now. Fantastic.
Yeah. I've got to learn her name. Her name is
Shamia
Begun.
Mahmood.
Shamia Begun. No, it's not. Shabana Mahmood.
Yeah.
Shabana Mahmood. And she got sworn in on the Quran.
Yeah, going Allah and all that crap.
Allah Akbar in the parliament.
It's like, oh no.
Surprised she didn't blow the place up, you know.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Give it a week.
Give it a few weeks. It'll be like Guy Fawkes, but sort of not like an Islamic Guy Fawkes or something. I don't know. So yeah, terrifying stuff.
She's also in charge of counterterrorism. Fantastic.
It's just don't know where to begin with it, do we really? I don't know. What do you think, Sarah? You're the new guest. What do you think?
Hey, yeah. I mean, I don't really know that much. I guess politically, I guess Mercian and Therum kind of know me a little bit better. I'm a bit of a wild card, so sometimes I'll agree, sometimes I won't, and sometimes it can seem quite arbitrary. I don't actually know who this person is. Some of this is actually new to me. I think that I'm not surprised, but overall I don't see this as... This is going to further our sort of... The cause is probably too grand a term, but this is not going to... This is not going to be the win that they think it is if they think that this is a win at all. That's kind of the way that I look at it. So in the grand scheme of things, this is, you know, whichever the wind is blowing right, and whichever flavor that ends up being, this is just accelerationism as far as I'm concerned.
So you're in favor of accelerationism?
I'm not in favor of accelerationism.
You think they're doing it, though?
Somebody in the chat is saying that's not even her. That's her, isn't it?
Yeah, that's her. That's the one.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure it is. She doesn't normally wear the hijab and stuff. Yeah, she's got the Mrs. Potato head face. That's what she's got. That's
they all look the same to me. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, she doesn't normally wear the hijab. This was just like an extra spit in our face, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you noticed she's been sworn in by a foreigner as well?
Oh God. Yeah. Wow, there you go.
It's bad that I didn't even notice.
Says a lot about modern society, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. But no, I think that it is somewhat disrespectful. I mean, I haven't been to church in like a decade, but I can at least recognize that you know, what our country is based on is it is Christendom at the end of the day, and so I think that our I don't think it's sorry, my mind is blanked. I don't think that it's a stretch to say that we should maintain our traditions at the bare minimum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just think we're getting conquered. I mean, so that's it. We are being conquered by Islam. And I'm still reading Sword and Scimitar by Raymond Ibrahim. I do very much recommend it. It is absolutely terrifying, but he's going through the entire conquest of Christian civilization, essentially by the Muslims from the beginning all the way up to the modern day. And it's just that is what's going on. That's what they think about it.
Yeah,
our people don't seem to recognize it because they're stupid. But if you ask the average Muslim on the street, if he was honest with you, he'd just be like, "Yeah, you're being conquered by Islam. This is what's going on, guys."
Plenty to have said it. There's there was that guy outside one of the hotels going, "No, we're here to conquer you." Yeah, just out saying it.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I mean, I guess people just don't read history, and they just become naive and they become stupid, and they just, I don't know, they watch football, they talk about the weather, and they want to be polite, and we're just getting alive because of it.
The Eastern Europeans all seem a lot more aware about the threat of Islam because they've been on the front lines of it for centuries, whereas we were a lot more disconnected. So it's sort of. Yeah, we don't have that.
I can second this. I was literally chatting to a guy I know who's Romanian the other day, and he was making not just observations with this particular thing, but he was also he was referencing more like the Ottomans and how that part of Europe just suffered so much under the Ottomans, and the memory is a lot more vivid for some of them than it is for, I guess, the rest of us. Same with stuff like the Portuguese. A lot of older Portuguese still remember learning sort of before the modern education sphere. You learn about the Moors, you learn about the Moorish expansion. You don't learn about all this other stuff now. You just don't look back in anger and call it a day.
I have a lot of blind spots in modern history, and one of them is Bosnia. But was the ethnic cleansing of Bosnia, was one of those ethnic groups Muslims by any chance?
I actually can't remember.
I believe so.
I feel like that's something we should know.
Well, it's all very convoluted. That entire area of land is just like a giant mess. But yeah, there's I'll have to look it up in the map. But Kosovo is Islamic, isn't it? Isn't that it?
It was mixed.
Albania.
It was mixed, and that's sort of what the civil war there was about, really.
Yeah. It's really convoluted. I've tried looking into it, and I just don't understand it at all because it's just so incredibly convoluted. So I just gave up. It's the Balkans.
I was a child when the whole Bosnia thing going, and all I understood as a child was Slobodan Milosevic is evil and ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
outside of those two details, I know nothing. And I'm looking at the map now. Okay, so Albania is the Islamic.
That's mostly
country.
Yeah. Albania, that was what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then Kosovo is like the mixed half Christian, half Islamic country, which is part of Serbia.
Which is why it's awful, because you can't have that. That doesn't work.
Yeah, and Bosnia is a different country, so I don't know if the Muslims were involved in that.
There's kind of a lot of different ethnic groups in that area, because those countries are all fake, because we sort of made them in the 20th century, the great powers. They're not.
Well, the
real.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just exploded after the Soviet Union, didn't it? I mean, this place is where the First World War started, so it's always just been a hotbed of just different conflicts between different people.
Do you think Iron Duke would be up for doing a history? Because I know it's modern history, but would he be up for explaining the whole Bosnia situation? Because I'd like to catch up on that.
I don't know how aware he is on it, but yeah, one of our one of the people he streams with, AI Shah Tory, well, not Tory anymore. He's doing a stream today about the Romanian revolution.
Yeah.
Might be worth knowing what's happened in recent history in that part of the world. I feel
all I know about it is you used to have the Austrian-Hungary Empire and you used to have Russia, right? And then before the First World War came along, basically everybody knew the Ottoman Empire was kind of collapsing, and so everybody knew there was this going to be this power vacuum, and people were struggling over like who's going to enter into this power vacuum. So the Russians wanted the Russians wanted their man in Yugoslavia. They wanted to be in control of it. And the Hungarians wanted their guys to be in control of Yugoslavia. And you had two competing dynasties. One of them was, I forget because it's such a muddle. One of them was pro-Russia and the other one was pro-Austria-Hungary. One of them got assassinated and replaced with another one. And so there were all these kinds of like assassinations and power struggles going back and forth. Very similar to what's happening in the Ukraine. And in the end, of course, you have the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and the First World War kicked off. But it was very much because of this power struggle between Russia and Austria-Hungary over who gets to control.
Yeah, that part of the world is just been, for a good few centuries now, it's basically just been the plaything of the great powers of Europe. And we just sort of made everything, all the decision for them. And forcing all these groups that hate each other to live together. Yeah.
Well, famously, oh God, my mind's going blank. Who is it that said the First World War would start down there and then some nonsense in the Balkan? Bismarck. Bismarck said it.
Bismarck,
yeah. I think it's probably because the Muslims were in there, because that whole part of the whole part of Europe was conquered by Islam, and so it's left a remnant then. So Muslims, despite the fact they've got this kind of, they want to see a one world caliphate and all of Islam together, they do seem to be incredibly tribal.
Oh yeah, they hate each other, like they hate each other loads as well.
Much more than Christians. We seem to get on much better than they do. But like the Arabs hate the Turks. It
depends on which period of history we're talking about.
Christianity did go through its quite bloody phase, but that's in the past now. Whereas Islam is still very much a thing.
I think that part of it is that we had our reformations, we had the dissolution of the monasteries, we had the infighting, we had the Anabaptists, we had
30 Years' War. 30 Years War.
Yeah, 30 Years War, absolutely.
That's when.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we ended up going through these periods of essentially working out what Christendom was to become, whereas I don't think Islam
They decided it would be gay.
Well, they would never have sort of that reformation, and I think that's partly why you tend to find. Well,
that's the thing, they kind of did, like, because more Muslims know how to read now. Problem is, in them knowing how to read, is turn them all into jihadis.
Yeah.
But this is also, they've also got their own sects, right? So, for example, you got Sunni, you got Shia, Deobandi. I don't know if there's more off the top of my head, but the thing that I think that partly because they didn't have a reformation, one of the difficulties is now if you've got people who would technically be apostates or want to live a quote unquote normal Western life, they're now sort of stuck in this weird place, especially in this country, right? Because you've got everyone on like the upper levels of government, just basically putting them in a spotlight, where actually some people moved to this country purely because they didn't want to live that way of life, and so they're sort of stuck with a rock and a hard place. That's
my problem with that is there's never any sort of pushback or speaking out about all the crap that's been going on for decades. Ever since they first came here, they started doing like grooming gangs and stuff.
Oh, since the 1950s, like day one.
Which was the guy? I can't remember if it was. Oh gosh, I'm terrible with names. There was a guy who was a practicing Muslim. He spoke out against Islam in some way, basically calling for some sort of reformation. I can't remember who it was. It's gonna bother me now. But he was talking about how it needs effectively a proper reformation, and I think that they tried to get him done for Islamophobia. And I think that that's essentially the problem. The irony is that any chance of actual integration is essentially getting hampered from the top, almost by design. It's very strange.
I think you're giving them too much credit. Like, it's all.
Oh, you know me, I'm always optimistic.
Yeah, but like this group, like they're all bad. Like you're talking about.
I think they're all
bad. Sargon's latest hire. He's a Lebanese Christian guy, and like that's the case. What happened in Lebanon? The Jews pushed the Muslims into Lebanon, and Lebanon was a Christian country, and it was nice. It was a nice place, but then they sort of, Israel weaponized their compassion against them, made them take in all these Palestinians. Oh, and what happens? They take over, and now Lebanon is a caliphate.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to agree. Since reading my new hero, Raymond Ibrahimian, who is also a Christian from Egypt. Egypt's apparently still 10% Christian after all these years, Coptic Christians. But he's written this book, Sword and Scimitar, and he's just he basically says the Quran is just black and white. They teach them to hate the infidel, and the whole point of Islam is to wage jihad. That's it. Wage jihad, and then you will go to heaven and you will have sex with lots of. Interestingly enough, they're called houris. I didn't know this. I wonder if this is actually where the word whore comes from. But you get
Possibly.
the 72 virgins, but apparently they're called houris. They're like heavenly damsels. But it's an incredibly like sexual and warlike religion. Like, go and die for Allah in battle, and all of your sins will be forgiven, and then you get to go to heaven and have sex with lots of women, and which is and this is what they believe. And there are quotes from Muhammad himself saying go and get the blonde haired women from the Romans. And even right back at the beginning of the jihad, the Muslims were saying, these Christian women, they're so lusty and they're really good at sex and they're so beautiful and they're all whores and we should just take them. And this has been going on for 1400 years. These people are fucking abominable and they don't fit in with our civilization.
And then I was going to say, and then of course Spain, they nearly took that over. And when you had the Reconquista, what they started doing, that's when the Taqiyya came about. And they started lying, pretending that they were Christians, when in secret, they were just, they were still practicing. And the Spanish Inquisition was actually started to root out all these Muslims.
And tapas as well. That's why tapas exists. It's basically
I did not know that.
And wine. Yeah. So I guess we're importing. We have tapas in this country from now on. I guess maybe.
What is? Hang on, tapas is that food? Like, what's the connection?
It's right. It's small. It's like a booth. Small portions of food. It's basically pig. Pork and wine. That's what tapas is. I mean, it's dressed up in. But that's its origins. It's to root out Muslims. It's like, so you offer you like, would you like some tapas? And if they refuse, well, you ask, you've got some questions in your head. Why are you refusing this lovely pork and wine?
Yeah.
I was thinking, we really should weaponize this. I mean, why can't you put like a pig's head above your door or something? Do you know what I mean? Or you could put it above the door of a pub. You could probably get away with that, couldn't you?
Well,
they go in pubs anyway. But I mean,
remember that guy was taken away by the police for saying, "I love bacon."
He was outside a mosque, though, isn't he?
It shouldn't matter.
It's England. It's English soil, isn't it? Not Muslim soil.
Yeah.
No
more respect when the Muslims offend and rape and pillage.
No. That's their culture. All cultures are equal.
What I was going to say is, I think people forget this is a relatively new religion. and it's kind of got a pass because it's old enough in people's eyes that okay, it's got the old pass. But if it was only 100 years old, no one would put up
like
with
Scientology.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Rupert Lowe's been pushing for about halal in schools. Only like all schools are basically just halal now. Like they don't tell people, but they've just sort of done that like behind the scenes. Just well, it's just halal now. A lot of supermarkets are like this too. They'll sort of secretly be selling halal meat as just normal stuff without telling anyone.
He also pointed out kosher meat as well. So that was pretty brave of him.
Yeah, because that one of them that
it's
one
consistent,
Muslim
right?
MP tried that as the usual gotcha. Like, oh, what about kosher? Isn't nope. Don't care.
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward.
I'm not as anti-Semitic as some of the people we know, but for the Jewish people, I don't think they'd care if we got rid of kosher. I think a lot of the country are secular.
I think it depends.
It wouldn't bother them.
I think it depends because
I think they would.
I think it depends on whether they're practicing or not. I think that's usually the main thing, right?
Yeah, I'm only thinking about people like Andrew Gold, though. I suppose.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
he's a very English Jew, isn't he? He's a very English Jew. To be
I don't think he's really Jewish. He's just got Jewish ancestry more.
Yeah, it's like Hitchens. Hitchens' mother was a Jew.
I mean, to be fair, it's like English ancestry kind of does make you English.
No, you know what I mean. But I
know. I'm just.
I don't think his parents were really all that Jewish or something. But
yeah,
well, that's the thing, right?
The Jews have been in Europe for a long, long time, so it's not really surprising if some of us have got a little bit of Jewish blood in us.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to ask you when you were talking about the schools, what do you guys think about the Michaela school and Connor Tomlinson's crusade against it? Because I watched his Steve Edgington interview yesterday. Very fascinating.
Well, what did she say? What's the take?
Well, he basically he's against it because a school like that essentially should be in an empire Britain. So a school like that should exist in India under the British Empire rather than in England.
Yeah.
Hang on, what school are we talking about? I've got no idea.
The Michaela school.
It's the sort of Victorian style school, and everyone has to be like Is that the right one? Everyone's like vegetarian.
Yeah. There's an awful lot of diversity there, and basically
with the black lady, and she's really strict, and you're not allowed to speak in the corridors.
Yes,
okay,
that's the one. Yeah, because Connor Tomlinson's, come out as a well, not necessarily against it, but like against its existence. It shouldn't need to exist. And go on.
Oh, sorry, go for it. No. Sorry, please do finish.
No. You're saying if such a school needs to exist, then it should exist in the colonies of Britain rather than Britain itself.
I think that the problem with it is it's essentially overcompensating. It's kind of like people, an example I would give back on, on Harren's stream, for example, I might say, people are essentially trying to deal with symptoms rather than like core problems, right? Core disease. You're dealing with the symptom rather than the disease. And I think that one of the things, so trad, you might remember the trad wife, trad family, trad cath, sort of where it was kind of an aesthetic thing on social media. And I think that kind of grew out of wouldn't it be nice to actually be married and have a family? And so people will essentially overcompensate that and go back to the aesthetics of what that potentially looked like in the past. It's kind of like if I was to dress up as a Roman legionary because I had no idea what a Roman legionary actually did, but it sounds pretty cool, And I think that in the case of the Michaela school, it's almost similar where once upon a time, we had a lot more social cohesion. Our levels of education were a lot higher. And so we needed to, we didn't need to overcompensate in this sort of multicultural religion stuff. It's kind of sorry, I'm a little scattered all over the place, but it's kind of like how with the communists, they all made everyone wear the same uniform, male or female. They had to wear the same type of uniform, essentially to try and make up for the fact that there are actually innate differences. And it kind of feels like in this way that we're overcompensating by pulling everybody down. I don't really want to put it in those terms, but sort of
pulling everything into a sludge.
Yeah, but you need to do it to a way that effectively pulls everything down to a certain point, so you can't actually have any sort of level of expression, and then that gets put forward as a fantastic new thing where actually we don't need to do all of these things, but we're overcompensating.
No, I agree. It's a case of, if you're dealing with people who are very, very unruly and they would naturally be fighting against each other and so on and so forth, then you need a totalitarian system to control it, basically. So she's got these diverse people that are at each other's throats. So she's got to have an incredibly strict system to keep it under control, but it shouldn't have to be like that. It should be, schools should be like flipping Hogwarts or something. I mean, that's the ideal, isn't it? That's what everybody dreams of, isn't it? It should just be happy school children, and you go to school and you smile and you talk to your friends and you do the lesson, and then maybe there's a little bit of mischief and you'll get a clip around the ear or whatever, and
defense against the darks class. Defense against the dark.
Well, the reason I bring it up is one of the policies of the school is it's now vegetarian because they can't be doing with the halal and kosher thing. So, you can't be like that, and they got rid of praying. In fact, it's been mentioned that Catherine got tried to be sued for that. I assume she didn't get sued for it, but So I was thinking, like, basically, are all our schools going to end up like the Michaela school in the future? And basically,
it's the only way that they'll work. Otherwise, you're just going to have violence. Essentially, you just have the Muslim kids beating up the white kids.
But it kind of shows that they're like, it really shows like the diversity not being us. Because the only way it works is you turn up everything into some grey sludge, and why should we live like that?
Yeah, the only way it works is you cover the entire country in CCTV, and you just have a tyranny. That's the only way that you can keep the country in check. It's the only, and this is might well be what it's building towards. We're going to have serious civil unrest, and they'll just declare some kind of martial law.
My only problem with CCTV
go for it.
Is that the only problem with CCTV is that can catch someone speeding, that can catch someone using a mobile and a phone, but God forbid that it can catch like the crimes that diversity inflicts upon the native population, or to the other diversity. God forbid it catch that. Never seems to.
Yeah.
So it's petty. It's just petty tyranny. It's like, oh, you were going 1 mile an hour above the speed limit. Oh, here's £100 fine. Oh, you just touched your phone for a second there. Right, okay. There's another fine.
Yeah, it's a narco tyranny, isn't it? Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And bring it full circle. I feel like putting this Mahmood character as the Home Secretary. It is just what they're trying. I think they're trying to inflame us. They want us to kick off to bring in all these draconian things, because basically the Michaela School is basically how Britain will need to be if diversity stays here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what what's his name? We were talking about this, Thary. This is what one politician was saying. That they essentially want it all kick off, and then they're going to bring in. Oh, I've lost the post. Where is he? Oh no, I had a post. I've lost it. I'm sorry.
You do a Control F for it.
Sorry.
A Control F and type in some few keywords and find it.
No, I just can't. Anyway, sorry. But anyway. What's his? I forget the guy's name. He was famous because he got arrested for doing a Churchill speech about 10 years ago. But anyway,
I think I remember actually. Was he on like the soapbox or something?
Yeah, him. Yeah, anyway, I just started following him
Yeah.
on Twitter, and he's just started saying basically that must be the plan. You know, they want to provoke the English people into some kind of violent riot, and then it's going to be martial law. I don't know if he's right or not, but it's a terrifying thought, and
I think that there is some truth in that. But I also think how much of this do you think is planning? You know, the ignorance versus malice. How much of this is just a group of boomer, Gen X, or boomer adjacent politicians who just want to look good?
Sarah, when it comes to our elites, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's retarded malice.
Yeah.
Because that's always what I wonder. You know, how much of this is just people being an idiot?
I mean, this week we've seen an uptick.
Don't get me. I was going to say, don't get me wrong, Mercy and Therum. You know me already. You know that I'm quite scathing with some things, whereas I'm lenient with others. You know me. But like, no, actually, sorry, no tangents. Carry on, Therum.
Yeah, Paul Weston, by the way, is the guy. There he is, Paul Weston.
Oh, thank you.
This week we've seen an uptick in the sort of the cracking down against all the protests and stuff by the police. They're getting.
Are they worried about the 13th or whenever it is?
I don't know, but they've been getting a lot more heavy-handed with their arrests and stuff now. Whereas before it was kind of like some was just thinking, okay, let's just do nothing and hope it disappears, but it hasn't. So they sort of seem to be like there's been all the pepper spraying grannies and stuff. That one guy, that Homeland guy, got arrested at Epping.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking AA made the take that after the 13th this will all fizz out. And
AA made the take. We want to get the Dark Lord in power, and that's going to fix everything.
I mean, to be fair, they took a few blows to the chin, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, we're getting like digital ID essentially out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so
Reform are pushing for that as well.
Isabel Oakeshott, the big surprise about ID cards. They can make for a nicer place to live, just not under this. Oh, come on!
Yeah. So we're getting it under Reform as well. Don't think Reform are any better. Yeah, they're.
No,
scum, but,
I don't know why. I don't know why I keep thinking. Well, it'd be slightly better than it'd be marginally better than Labour.
I think it's going to be better than Labour, just across the board, because I don't think the Reform are full of actual commies or actual Fabians, and for me that's huge.
No,
like legit. So
I'll respond to this first. My biggest issue with Reform is they're cooking now under they're the opposition. You don't need to cook when you're in the opposition. There's no pressures for you to cook on. I would understand if they were in power and cooking, because there are different factors at play. To cook now, that's what's raising the alarm bells, because once they get into power, they're going to fold like a wet sheet of paper.
Yeah, there's no one with any strength in Reform. They're so damn weak.
Yeah, they kicked out the only guy that had any balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was critical of that as well. I'm still trying to work out. I'm still trying to work that one out in my head.
I think at the end of the day, Hitchens was right. Okay, I'm sorry, but you have to accept the fact you've just got to vote for the lesser of two evils. Hitchens told everybody to vote for the Tory party, and he was basically right, because all that's going to happen is we're going to have 5 years of Labour being absolutely shit. And then we're going to get Tory Party 2.0 when Reform get elected in 2029.
The one thing that Zero Seats has done, though, is it's given Labour the country in such a bad state. I think it really has just destroyed Labour for like a good long while now. This 5 years, we're going to have to go through pain. Yeah, there was no easy answers. And Labour are just so fucked these days. I think they're at the record lowest approval ratings ever, at 11%. So bad.
Yeah. It's 11% too many, I think.
Yeah, I think that's just the NHS basically.
I was going to say, at that point, even the unions are starting to hate them.
Yeah, So that is the good thing.
But nobody liked them even before they came in power.
No,
It's true.
Yeah, but
people
really
literally just didn't. I was going to say people didn't just. People just didn't show up for Tories? That's effectively the only way they got in. We were just so disillusioned.
My favourite Labour was Carol Vorderman, sort of like going on a big crusade. It was sort of like, I didn't know it'd be like this. I'm sorry that I ever pushed people to vote for Labour. I was like, beautiful. I mean, obviously, she's still a shit lib, so I should move over to the next, Green or Lib Dems or whatever. But
Jezbollah.
yeah.
Well, anyway, the digital ID, just like, what do you guys? I guess you were all just against it. I mean, my take on it is, as we mentioned last week or the week before, is if you want to get rid of illegal immigrants, it's actually really very easy. You just go after the landlords. That's what you go after, because everybody needs a place to live unless you're sleeping on the street, right? So most illegal immigrants, they're renting an apartment from somebody. And so if you just really, really get punitive with the landlords, then the landlords will just refuse to rent apartments to anybody who's illegal, and then the illegals will have nowhere to live, and they'll just be forced to leave. So you don't really need to like, oh, excuse me, sir, where's your papers? Oh, you're an illegal immigrant, and throw them in a van and cart them off. This is just like a silly way of doing it. I mean, the whole thing they've got in America with this, like, arresting illegal immigrants when they're graduating from high school or what have you. I mean, this is just a retarded way of doing it. You go after the landlords, and then they'll leave automatically. It's very simple, and it's very straightforward. So for that reason, for anybody who's going to say, oh, we need a digital ID in order to keep track of the illegals, it's silly.
This is something that people have been saying for a long time, that they'll try and get digital ID by saying, oh, we need this to counter the immigrants. That's been clearly been the plan for a long time.
Yeah, I think that like on my Discord, I threw it, or not on my Discord, but on the Worcester Discord, I had a full on chimp out, because my point was that just the sheer nerve of the people saying, oh yeah, this is definitely to protect children.
Yeah.
And I'm like, behold your child protectors. Plato holding up the plucked chicken? Behold. Sorry?
Diocles.
I need to get my references better, but you got it. No, you're absolutely right.
Diogenes was the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Behold. Behold.
We got there eventually.
Yeah, we got
behold a man. Yeah.
Yeah, behold a man, the plucked the the naked biped or whatever
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but
hang on. No, you're gonna have to explain to it. Diogenes was the guy living in the pot, right?
Yeah.
And Alexander the Great comes up to me and says, what do you want? And he says, get out of the sunlight. And Alexander walks off, and he's like, I like that guy. If I was a philosopher, I'd be him. So what did he say?
Here we go. Yeah, it was Plato. Plato was doing like his world of forms, or trying to define things, and he basically said, what is man? And it's I don't know if it's apocryphal. I guess we don't know at this point, but the idea was that Plato was like, what is a man? And he said, well, we need a definition. Okay, it's a featherless biped. And then Diogenes, not I don't know who I thought it was, but Diogenes comes in with a plucked chicken and says, behold a man.
Okay. He's my favorite philosopher. Yeah.
Of course he is.
Poor chicken. we have chickens here, so I'm just like, oh no, please no. A poor chicken.
Imagine saying that to Alexander the Great. I mean, like, the guy's got balls, he's just got balls. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I tangented there, but yeah, it was, in my case, it was like behold the child protectors. This is right after I can't remember which.
It was the Online Safety Act.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. I think that the last chimp out that I had, or the last crash out, or whatever the youngsters are calling it, was when one of the Labour guys who had voted for it got done for like, was it he like put cameras or something in changing rooms and had like kid videos or something on his found on his devices, and he's just like, okay, behold your child collectors. Oh no, I Freudian slip. Child protectors. Yeah, that was.
So what was that story about? A Labour MP saying sex with 10-year-olds is permissible?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember
literally
that.
didn't even hear about
this. It was a woman,
this.
wasn't it? It was a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it vaguely, and it was a bit of a quieter story than it perhaps should have been.
Well, I mean, Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old, so yeah, exactly. He married Aisha.
It's good.
And you gotta understand, Muhammad is the perfect Muslim. Muhammad is the perfect Muslim. Everything he did was perfect, and so that's it. So I mean, the Muslims will claim that that's not true, or that's not Islam, or blah blah blah, or whatever. But if Muhammad did it, then it's good, and that's it. End of story.
Speaking of the Online Safety Act, Nadine Dorries, the Tory MP, was the one who created it in the first place. And she's just been welcomed into reform.
Oh, yeah. She wants Boris back, doesn't she?
She's the Boris simp, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It upsets me to no end that it was the Tories that actually. I mean, I don't know what I would expect, but just the fact that it was the Tories that cooked up that absolute abomination.
It's all uniparty.
Sorry,
it's all the uniparty.
Well, yeah, but you got to realize just how invested in this I was, right? When the whole Brexit thing happened, I was in Brighton at the time, working in Brighton. So when it leaked that I wasn't necessarily the most, conforming, for me, that was kind of a big deal. And at that time, the fact is, obviously I kept it quiet because I didn't want to lose my job at the time, but you've had to plant your flag at some point. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to give these people benefit of the doubt, which is, why I'm a bit dubious about reform, but I'm still willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though that might not be what other people advise.
Well, there's no other option. So that's it.
Yeah. I was about to say, the sad thing is, Sarah, it's like Sargon said the other day. He said, and I agree with him, and I've been saying this to Harrion as well, and Harrion seems to use it against people like me. It's like, I'm perhaps going to have to vote for reform.
It's the what's the guy? Oh, it's not Hanlon's razor. It's Occam's razor, is it? No, not Occam's razor. Oh gosh, it's gonna come. It's Pascal's wager, was it? It basically, but it's like the political version of Pascal's wager. So it kind of is.
Hang on, no, I want to see this thought through. How is it, Pascal? Pascal said, "I believe in God because it's a bet, and the benefits of winning are far outweigh the benefits of being wrong." Right?
Kind of. Yeah, I guess actually. Yeah.
So the benefits of voting for reform are, I don't know. How does it fit? How does it work?
Well, because as I see it, currently we have reform is the only tangential right. It's the closest thing we have to a right-wing party that's actually viable to win an election. So things might change in the next couple of years, and I'm going to keep my eye on all of the various parties, and we'll see how it goes. But currently reform look like they're going to win, and if they don't win, well, we're going to end up either with more Labour, or we're going to end up with Tories. And currently, we've had that. We've had Labour and Tories over the last decade. When I came to this country in the 90s. When I was very young, we had the sort of the tail end of when the Tories were actually good, and I sort of grew up in the Blair paradigm, before the rot had fully set in, and we've sort of been living in effectively decline ever since 2008. We never the bump was never a true bump as far as I'm concerned, and so for me, reform is a chance that we have to actually break that uni-party stranglehold. And it's partly why I was going to say, I've said to you, Tharium, that I'm worried about the uni-party setting its tendrils into reform as well. It's something I am worried about. But as far as I'm concerned at the moment, I don't see another option.
That's happened. But the one excuse is like breaking the consensus, the Tory Labour consensus. That's done. That's broken. You don't have to vote for reform for that. That's
But then if we don't do that and then Labour get back in anyway, it's going to be more and more.
Labour's finished. Labour's split as well. They talk about, don't dare split the right-wing vote and not vote for reform. But Labour's fucked as well.
Look, I don't think there's any question. Look, a reform government is definitely going to be better than Labour. And if there was an election tomorrow, I'd vote for reform. It's just I wish there was something better. And I think that
we
Rupert
know that
could. I think Rupert could do it. I think Rupert, for whatever reason, thinks that he can't. I don't know why. He thinks that he can't. He thinks people are voting for Nigel because they like Nigel or something like this. But they don't. They're voting for him because they're desperate. I think if Rupert was to stand up and form his own party and to campaign, then many of the members of Reform would switch, and they would much rather follow him than follow Nigel, and we could actually legitimately have our own party led by an honest bloke who actually talks to the internet and talks to the people and who would change the country. So I think I'm just exasperated because I can see the opportunity. We have a pivotal point in British politics where the Tories are getting wiped out, Labour's going to get wiped out, a new party is emerging, and instead of it being something brilliant led by Rupert Lowe, it's going to be something which is just a bit crap led by Farage, and it's just a disappointment.
I think Rupert was exploring his options with the Tories, sort of seeing if he could make anything with that, use that infrastructure. But the Tories, they seem like they're set, like a lot of their sort of senior people seem set on just trying to merge with Reform. Like the Nadine Dorries, Rees-Mogg was at the Reform conference, Michael Gove was there, and Nigel was happy to have him.
Michael Gove! Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, he was at the conference. Rees-Mogg's daughters joined Reform. It's clearly like the Tory sort of up top brass is just planning a merge with Reform, basically. And Nigel's happy to have it because Reform definitely aren't Tory 2.0. They're totally different guys. So I can, hopefully like Rupert sees that and thinks, okay, we're going to do something else. Maybe with Advance. Advance has got 30,000 members now, so they'll be signing up. See what happens.
It's almost like the Tories and Reform are house swapping at the moment. So it's basically the same people under a different banner. It's basically what's happening.
Yeah, but then we also said, the other day that one of our jobs is to wait in the wings, and if we just because there's nothing to say that we go through a period with Reform. Let's say that we get average results. Let's say that we just get middling results. Things aren't massively worse, but at least things aren't massively better, but they're not getting worse. We can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, which is what we're doing.
But exactly. And so I think that there is still, that's partly why, even though, in the other circles that I habituate, there isn't, Advance and the like aren't taken very seriously. I always do mention we do need our right-wing pressure groups. We do need think tanks. We need to stop the pointless bickering as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I'm a bit too pragmatic on this, but like, we need to have the pressure there. We need to have the thought leaders there. And we need to come to some sort of like general consensus as to what we want. I mean, the immediate consensus is get rid of the boat people. That's the easy, obvious one. And the normies can get on board with get rid of the boat people, basically. But then there are sort of deep, like there's a deep rot in various things, like our education system, the way that our economy is run. There's so much stuff. Essentially, the the civil service needs to be completely replaced, and
reform will do.
No,
well, there is a chance, but then we keep that momentum going. You know, we
Farage seems to be afraid of the Guardian.
yeah,
And the Guardian have no real power.
no.
But that's the thing, right? We are here for the long haul. You know, we don't have a backup plan. We don't have a country to go back to.
That's the good thing about Farage and Tice. They'll be dead by then, so it doesn't matter to them.
It's just
as I keep pointing out.
It's just going to be a game of entryism, though. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be, okay, we've got reform in. Thank God. Now we're going to have to play entryism into it and try and make it do something good. I just think the opportunity is being missed because right now the British public are absolutely pissed off. If we actually had a genuine right-wing deportation party, they would vote for it, they would support it, and it could win in the next election. But because it hasn't been formed, we're just going to get this slop tier Tory 2.0, and it's just going to be boring and it's going to be shit. But once they're in power, once Reform are in power, then we're going to go back to the same old power dynamic of, oh, I better vote for Reform, otherwise Labour will get back in, and we're just back to the same old situation of voting Tory just to keep Labour out, and it's just going to be the same shit state of affairs all over again. That's it. So, and the opportunity will be missed. Now is the time. You've got to strike while the iron's hot, while all this madness is going on in the news. But for whatever reason, Rupert is the only guy that can do it because he's in Parliament and everybody loves him. Is essentially like we've got Ben Habib forming a party, but nobody will join it or take it seriously because he's not in Parliament.
He's not the leader either. He's not a leader. He's not a king.
He's not the leader. His second name's Habib, and he's got brown skin, and that's it. Maybe he's a Christian and he's a good guy. I don't know, but I mean, he's not the guy. But the point being, like Rupert Lowe is like the elephant in the room, and unless everyone's just waiting for him. Unless he leads, then that's it. We're just going to get Nige, and that's what's going to happen, unfortunately.
Go on. They do say that the greatest men refuse power.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's not really true.
Well,
who says
there is some truth to it. There is some truth.
No, it's like okay, probably the greatest man ever was probably Napoleon for what he achieved, right? And
Mason.
Sure, but you know, he came from nothing and became an emperor. And he very much was the I found the crown of France in Augusta and I picked it up, you know.
Yeah.
Like a great man doesn't refuse power, he sees it, and you know.
It doesn't refuse power. I think the point was that it's more that I guess he doesn't
want it. He does it because he needs to do it. That's the point. He doesn't want power for power's sake. He doesn't want power for the vanity of it. He wants power because he wants to save the country. That's the point.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Napoleon also viewed himself as just an instrument of fate, really. Everything he was like, I think it was one quote going, if fate like decides to throw me away tomorrow, then so be it. Very sort of had the attitude of things.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about this, or do we want to, like, without Fed posting? I'll read it to you. Oh, so white British cops. Oh my God. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, so white British cops fucking poor white trash in Rotherham is okay as it get a fucking grip, Daisy. You are aiming for populist votes and attention. Forgive me, but you are bright enough to know what you are doing. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, oh, I don't actually. Where's the? Maybe that's. Anyway, he called them Labour Council leader suspended after calling rape gang victims white trash.
Yeah.
So that's not the actual quote. I thought it was. I didn't see it. But anyway, so what is it about this? What is this strange thing that we have where the Labour Party, who are supposed to be on the side of the working classes, actually are just extraordinarily elitist, and they literally just hate the working classes while pretending to love the working classes. It's such
you keep saying lots of words to describe communist. I mean, that's pretty normal, actually, as far as I'm concerned.
It is so insane, isn't it? It's just really quite bizarre.
Well, the thing is that I can't remember who said it and who you can attribute it to, but there was a quote that said that communists don't love the poor, they just hate the rich. And in this case, you tend to have these pressure groups or these victim groups, and when one becomes less useful, they'll drop them and move on to the next victim group. You know, they don't. It's actually no, it's not correct in chat. It's they don't actually love the Browns. The Browns are just useful to them. There are some true believers. Okay, that is. You know, there are some true believers, but for the most part, it's women were useful until they weren't. You know, gays were useful until they weren't. You know, different races were useful until they won't be, and actually until they weren't, because you know, where did BLM go? Trans were useful until they weren't. It doesn't really matter. They're going to pick whichever pressure group they want. You know, this is going back to 2016, the progressive stack, or you know, 2010 or whenever it was. They're
going to pick the out group. That's what they do. It's that meme that's been going around the internet of the it's like a graph. Yeah. Right wing people, they favor the center. Left wing people favor the out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. The that heat graph of where they're sort of how much they care about people. Right wing is it's your family, and left wing is it's atoms in the universe.
Because I see this all the time in my practical experience dealing with lefties, that they in their own personal dealings with the people around them, they're just totally shit, but they really, really care about people suffering on the other side of the world. And it's like, well, why? Because it's easy to.
Yeah. And
it's easy, like, isn't it? It's easy. I know a couple whose children have gone off to preach in Bangladesh. You know, it's like, God, in this day and age, really. And they're oh, wow, that's so pious. Oh, helping the poor Bangladeshis. And it's like, well, what about the people in this country? What about the girls in Rotherham? You know, they don't want to deal with that because it's just too thorny and difficult.
Well, they're white trash, you see. They're white trash. So, you know, you don't want to get grubby with that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with that girl in Scotland. You get the white trash stuff came out with that. And maybe she's a bit, but she's ours still, you know.
Well, yeah, but also that's an indictment on us that we have that there are parts of our country which used to have manufacturing, like especially up north, right? You had manufacturing, you had jobs, you had an economy, and it's all just being completely just decimated. It's there's a steaming crater where our industry used to be almost nationwide, and I think places in the north and Scotland have been hit particularly hard by it. I mean, it's not a particularly wild take, right? They played lip service to the whole leveling up thing, and obviously no one believed them at the time. But you know,
so we got MMSS in the chat, who's just being a spurred. But women just want more available men. You guys don't even notice it. So this is the hardcore Andrew Angling take. I mean, I remember back in the day, like 10 years ago, when the refugees started going in, lots of stories started circulating about, you know, frumpy 30-year-old, you know, middle-aged women just banging the refugees, basically just screwing the refugees.
That care for Calais, those care for Calais women.
Yeah, I mean,
Baron, sorry to interrupt. Do you remember one? Do you remember when it reversed with the Ukrainian refugees? Because they actually had women.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
As someone who is married to a Slav, I can completely understand. But it's So I don't Sorry, just going back to the guy in the chat. What's his problem? I didn't actually read it.
I know he's spoken out in the chat. He's saying we're not hardcore enough because we don't like Adolf Hitler, and this is Boomer,
I'm not trying to be edgy.
And you won't get young guys on your side with that. And hang on. Andrew Angling and we've rejected the incel community, which is why they became irrelevant. So I'm assuming this guy's an incel.
We've got to
embrace women. Incels.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. Look, I mean, I sympathize. I mean, I actually think, that there is absolutely something to it in that some women I mean, they obviously don't seem to be bothered by men coming in, but they would be much more bothered if women were coming in, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you must have heard my take about my unironic. I love the idea of the LG immigration policy.
Oh yeah,
the Callum take.
Yeah, well,
or similar.
Callum doesn't go far enough. I like LGs, but just let the fit ones in, right? And I'd go even further than LG. They've got 5 years to find an English husband, or they're out.
Oh, that's really stepping up the pressure on our women, isn't it?
Yeah, that is why. Because I hate to say it, lady, English ladies, you are stuck up, and you need showing up. You need bringing down a peg or two. And I think a good decade or so of the LEG policy.
They are probably stuck up. That's for sure. They are definitely stuck up.
I think they need guest up mids. Guest up mids is a bigger than an English problem.
That's a generational problem.
Gassed up mids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Oh,
well, I think a lot of it's got to do with Tinder. I think.
Yeah.
My take on it is that it's actually it's a matter of Tinder. It's also a matter of social media because there's also a selection bias. The ones that you see online complaining about guys not being 6 foot, whatever. Those are the selection bias. There is that you are like sensible, normal, good quality women don't post those things on Tinder. On TikTok or whatever, on YouTube, and so there is a selection bias there as well, where you will only see the crazy ones online. So I think that it probably seems a lot more rampant than it actually is. You know, because you also see from time to time people, you know, young women being like, actually, you know what? The more I think about it, I would actually not want a career. I'd actually just like to have children and just be happy. And I think that you're not seeing that as much because those people tend to not seek validation on social media. I have an entire rant about it, but I'll save you.
Yeah, most of the Zoomer girls that I know do actually want boyfriends, and they seem to be exasperated that the men just don't want girlfriends.
They're just not approaching us. What's happened there? Yeah.
We, for anyone listening, we gave some dating advice in the last stream.
Oh, did we? What did we do? I can't remember.
Like running clubs, learning to ride horses.
Oh God, yeah, I'm too old.
Yeah,
I'm out of it. Yeah, I've given up. But join a running club if you're a Zoomer. Apparently, like 1 in 5 relationships start in running clubs. So there you go.
Yep. I wouldn't say to buy a dog just to get a girlfriend, but what I will say is that you do meet a lot of people while dog walking. I mean, this was, again, I'm not in the dating market. I haven't been for a while, but I actually genuinely feel bad for people who are trying to date today because everywhere I look, it looks like a landmine. There are actually, it sounds funny, but the amount of people I'm hearing that have been like, I met my significant other, you know, I met my boyfriend or now husband on like Final Fantasy 14 or like on World of Warcraft. I'm hearing it more and more now, and I'm thinking, you know what? Compare it to like Bumble and Tinder, you know what? World of Warcraft seems perfectly fine. At least you know you've got an interest in common.
That's a really interesting take, actually. Yeah, that's a really interesting. Yeah, meet girls while gaming. That's good. I like that. Is that a thing? Does that happen?
It is a lucky dip. I mean, you don't. Oh, sorry, Mercy, go for it.
I was just saying, I can't imagine there's enough women for that sort of thing. Though.
There's not. There's a lot of competition. You'll be like the one guy, and then there'll be
this is
30 others in your group, all lusting after the one woman.
This is what I suggested last week to go to a dance club.
Dance club's good.
I suggest you be interested in dancing. And really mean it, but there's a lot less competition in that sort of environment.
The way I'm sort of getting to that weird sort of age where I'm starting to give advice to younger men. It's a very bizarre place. I didn't think I would be here so quickly, but you know, here we are. But what I often say is, you know, make yourself. It's kind of effectively a Jordan Peterson level take, but my own variation on it is try and get yourself fit to the best ability that you can, like physically strength, like build physical strength and toughness as much as you can, because I know not everybody can do powerlifting, but if you can, you should. Build yourself up a skill set, try and strive to be competent and reliable. And if you've got those traits, you pass it, not even actively, but you will by passively, you will become more attractive to good women. That is my theory on it. And so you will also become more reliable, and so therefore you will be a better community figure. You'll be, that is the kind of thing that you want to build. And I think that is, if you do that, you'll also find that people will be attracted to you without you actively going out and finding. What is this cringe on my screen? Sorry, I'm getting so distracted.
Do you want to listen to it? Should we listen to it?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on, you got it. It's AI, you love it. Come on.
Oh, no.
How many homes, Bought me one house, bought me two.
Yeah.
Flat tax man, no clue.
I'm so happy I'm not in Brighton anymore.
Dodging more duty than the average man. How many homes can rain buy? Laughing at you while all the tax they slide. How many
Hey, it's fucking banging.
Big
I love it.
In the Commons Hall.
As-
Girl roofs, but I climb that chain for Ashton
I have
Street
a
to the
question.
seaside lane. Stamp duty short, 40 grand unpaid.
I still prefer my drunken sinking of every sperm is sacred on the
No,
previous
but really, I
stream
mean,
I was on.
everyone's complaining about AI music being shit, but as far as like political satire goes, I mean, this is like genuinely kind of funny, entertaining, musical political satire, which I don't think we've seen in a long time. And by the way,
It is
think
impressive.
it is, and I think this is what folk music, or folk. I don't mean like playing guitars and in strumming. Well, I don't mean like folk music as most people mean folk music. I mean just mean the music of the people. It should be political, and one of the great problems we have is that because the music industry is obviously capitalized and people make money out of it, it's been turned into entertainment. It's just become very dead, very sloppy, and it's very sexual, very, very super sexualized music, and there's nothing spiritual about it, and there's nothing political about it. But I think if you'd have gone back 100 years and if you'd have listened to Cockney music in a pub or whatever, or you'd listen to the music that the people of this country sung, I think there would always be a little bit of political satire in it, and maybe with this AI slop it can come back. I don't know.
Well, I
think that there. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. No, go for it.
How do you know this is AI?
Yeah.
The Nigel Farage one was real though, that he posted of himself
Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
dancing
didn't
with the
even see it.
diversity. Oh.
Did you not see that? Oh.
I saw that there was a video, but I look right.
No,
I'll
find it for you,
Oh, no.
especially for you.
I will happily watch VTubers for like 3 hours, but when I see those clips, I'm just like, nope, just pass, just nope.
Oh, scroll down. I'll
Like
find
you'd think this was satire, but Nigel posted it himself of him rapping and dancing with the
Was it
diversity.
2 weeks ago? We covered this is quite a while
2 or
ago.
3, I
actually.
think, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's like ancient history in
Rolling
internet terms.
papers. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There it is.
Oh.
Right then, pint 2029 now looks so right. For real.
I think I just had brain damage.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean,
AI is
he
bad.
posted this. This is
Yeah.
Nigel, and you got to remember the time he posted this. This was in the middle of what the hell were we in the middle of? There was a riot. What was going on?
I can't remember.
It was
But
epic.
yeah, it was.
Epic.
Yeah, I
Was
think
it
that's
I know,
epic? Yeah.
it was right in the beginning of the raise the flags thing. That's it. The raise the flags thing had
Yeah.
just kind of started getting going, and
Yeah.
Farage comes out with this because he's a fucking.
This
idiot.
is what I would post. Going, this is what Nigel Farage is actually. He posted
Yeah.
it himself. Oh.
This one's pretty good. I might get a copy strike for this.
Yeah,
but,
don't full screen it. In the end.
Anyway, it's just funny because it says
Okay.
average day of a 12-year-old girl in the UK.
I don't want to get like one guide, but
And my
Is-
challenge
oh yeah, sorry.
by the ancient laws of combat We have met at this chosen ground.
And I won't play it all because I get a copy strike.
Yeah.
But,
I don't want to get one guide, but what was he saying? Wow, he keeps the Anglo supreme race alive with his Ukrainian trophy wife. Is he talking about me?
What? Oh, is he back again?
I think so.
Berg's back.
First of all, my wife, she is a trophy, or my trophy, but she's not a trophy wife. She's also not Ukrainian. I'm also not English in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, chat, and sorry, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Me? Let's just say I was born in the Caribbean, but you wouldn't know by looking at me.
Oh.
You wouldn't know by talking to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was adopted here, though. So
Yeah, when I was very, very young.
Child of the colonies.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, Commonwealth, the ex-Commonwealth. But as far as I'm concerned, it's
Tax haven, baby.
Yeah, he's Labour's favourite citizen. He's everywhere.
He's truly
person.
global.
Yeah.
I am unfortunately the embodiment of what was it? What was I used to say in no, what was it? Blair's Universal Man. Sorry.
You literally had slaves in Jamaica. Oh my god. Wow.
All right. But yeah, like
the slaveholder. Yeah, go on, tell us your story.
I mean, absolutely. But no, the fact is, at the end of the day, people get confused. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, England should be primarily for the English. Why is this? Why is this? I know that I'm not English, like biologically, but
The thing
why is this something that we have to debate?
Basically, the Fabian Society have a picture of Sarah on the wall. So when do we get the rest of England like this?
Yeah, the prodigal son. He'll come home at some point, and I'm just like, yeah. Keep waiting.
Sarah is basically Uncle Ruckus.
I'm not dark enough.
No, but in attitude, you are.
I guess I kind of am.
That's really like what the we rather than Michaela School, we need to be pushing the Uncle Ruckus School for all the diversity. That's the standard that we should have.
The thing is, again, I think this is partly why I tend to flip-flop so much about the whole integration thing, because it's like my wife and I aren't English, but we do. England is our home. We can at least call it, well, I can call myself British, but for all that's worth, England should be English. We have a proud history, and we should be proud of our history and our heritage. And I don't see why that's something that needs to be debated. And yeah, you can. I know lots of people who are foreign who feel the same way, and I think that that's partly why I have the perspective that I do on this. Basically,
is it lots though? Like,
yeah,
most having in-group preference still, and they will favour their own people. They all live in the ghettos and stuff. You are a minority within a minority.
I think that with me, I don't have really an in-group. And so I think that's probably what made me, it did allow me to, I guess, graft onto the British a lot easier. But yeah, it's, sorry, what was he saying?
Sorry?
I was just looking at the clip. I got distracted.
Oh, I deleted it. Sorry. I mean, if look, he was just a little bit too aggressive. I'm not going to let people just make fun of the guests because it's just rude. I mean, people in the chat are welcome to disagree with us, but if you're just going to
spurg,
Oh, it doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's your chat. Feel free.
It just makes let's keep.
Is my wife black? No, she is. She is Slavic. She is paper white.
Anyway, look,
I make fun of. Actually, I don't make fun of her. I love it.
Babe, is now. Gosh, she's so beautiful. But generation remigration. So
that it has genuinely been difficult to keep track of the number of European boys and girls who were assaulted, raped, and/or murdered by immigrants on our soil in just these past few weeks alone. But now, finally, the world seems to be waking up to the fact that we Europeans have been replaced, sold out, and betrayed by our own governments. Because as a result of their open border policies of mass migration, we are no longer safe and no longer at home in our own homelands. I was born in 1996, but I have never gotten to enjoy the Europe of my great-grandparents, my grandparents, or even that of my parents. Because they
I was going to say great-grandparents, I'm not sure.
About sending their kids out to play at a park. They did not have to be afraid about biking back home at night. They did not have to be afraid about taking
Anyway, we get the point. We know what she's saying. But
I was going to say great-grandparents were probably getting bombed, but the grandparents, she probably, probably more.
Point being, she's a babe. It's Ava. What's her face? Oh, anyway, she's a babe. Ava. Oh yeah, hang on. Let me do this. Vladimir Broek. Ava. Anyway, let's call it Ava. She popped up, as far as I remember, during the anti-COVID, anti-lockdown demonstrations, and there's something going on in Europe with the farmers, and they get anyway. So she's
it was during the farmer protests.
Yeah, so I remember people complaining and calling her a civic nationalist and this, that, and the other. But now she's talking about remigration, so that's good.
She's going to be at the Tommy Robinson rally. If you want to try and
I was going to say, chat, come on, ask if she's single.
She's married to a Jew, apparently.
So I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen debates about that.
Internet slander.
She's married though, but I don't think to an Anglo. So
ask if she's got a sister. I don't know. Come on, chat, be creative.
She is a babe, though. Come on, I mean, let's be honest. You do want a girl like that on our side.
There are non-crazy women out there, and don't fall for the black-pilling TikTok slop. There are sensible women who, have good character. And yes, all of the Dutch people that I've known have all been quite attractive, and I have been a little bit jealous. Yes, Chad. Sorry, carry on.
Isn't that the average height of the men like 6'3" or something?
Yeah,
it's not fair.
It's when not you fair. Hear about can't compete.
Yeah.
When you read the Nordic sagas and they talk about giants, I think that they literally just went over to like the Netherlands, unironically.
Well, I think it's just because they had such a martial culture.
No, it's they're
tall. Short people got killed. I mean, that's it. No, if you're short, you don't have the length of arm to swing an axe, and you're going to die. And
the Dutch are tall because they have a very high meat and cheese and dairy diet. That's the main thing from early childhood.
I think that does actually make a lot of sense.
They're a farming powerhouse. Like really surprisingly, I think they're the second biggest exporter of food in the world, and it's the Netherlands. It's tiny.
Yeah,
which kind of makes you think more about why they were trying to hamper the farmers so much, because they had apparently it was a misfire or something, but didn't they have farmer protest and one of them panicked and started shooting at one of the tractors? Yeah, it was absolutely balmy.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole farmers protest still boils. On that notion, has anyone been watching? Everyone obviously has been watching Clarkson's Farm.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Well, excellent.
Required watching. It's about the only mainstream show worth watching these days, isn't it?
Legit is, yes.
Oh, I've got to play this one because this blew up. I thought more people would.
Before we get that, I was going to say about that last girl. Yeah, she is right. Remigration is the push we need to be going for. And we need to keep pushing that because that's the way forwards. None of this gay reform shit about trying to bring in elite talent from around the world. No. Fuck that. Because that leads, if you take that approach, like the reforms approach, that leads to where we are now. Because you just turn everything into a matter of economics. It's like, this diversity is bringing us GDP. It doesn't matter. And then that will keep spreading. So, yeah, remigration.
No, 100%. She's 100% spot on. It's really simple. Our women are not safe. We need to kick all the foreigners out. That's it. Boom. And the phrase generation remigration is absolutely it's perfecto. I love it. It's beautiful.
It's catchy. It's good branding.
Yeah, it's our entire system is built around. We have to listen to young people. What do the young people? Well, the young people want to kick all the foreigners out, basically, and that's beautiful. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's absolutely amazing.
We'll need to keep an eye on it because, to be fair, just really quickly, I was going to say Turning Point had good branding as well, and I'm not sure how successful that ended up being. So,
well, they were a bit, yeah. I think
the branding was good.
I think they've got some. I think they've got some other outside influences working on Turning.
What was their branding? What was their?
Oh no, just like the name,
Turning Point.
Like I mean, like quite literally the branding. Yeah, just that's why I'm saying Generation.
That's very non-specific. We're going to turn this round. It's like, well, how? I mean, generation remigration is like we are the generation that's going to kick the foreigners out. Like it's not faffing around. It's like reform as a branding. Reform. Oh, okay. Well, it's very vague, isn't it? You know, that's why we need a party. That's why we need Kezia Noble's deportation party. I'm still waiting, Kezia. I'm still in love with you. We're going to get married and we're going to do it.
I mean, your Polish wife is quite in favor of sending other Polish people back, though, isn't she?
It is true, yes.
So
she's like, she wants her family and some of her friends to stay, but other than that, she's like, yeah, all of them can go. And I'm like, can you say that? She's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We have great conversations. It's fantastic.
Polish people are quite blunt from what I've seen.
Oh, it's great. If they like you, though, it's fantastic. If they don't like you, you'll know pretty quickly, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, it is Europe's...
I appreciate that. I hate bullshit.
It's Europe's battlefield, isn't it? So
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Shall we? I just want to cover this because I thought this would blow up more. I thought there'd be, but I don't know. Maybe people missed it or they didn't see it. But she basically admits to knowing it all along. So anyway,
horrendous reports about the rapes and assaults that are taking place by South Yorkshire police. I welcome the decision to involve the NCA and strip away responsibility for those investigations from the force. But would she confirm that the National Inquiry will look at the role of the police, not only in cover-ups, but in the crimes themselves?
Absolutely, yeah. The South Yorkshire Police should never have been left to investigate themselves in this matter. And so, yes, moving over to the NCA is the absolutely right thing to do. But I would be lying if I said that over the years I have not met girls who talked to me about how police were part of the perpetration.
Wow.
I did hear about this actually. Yeah, I wondered.
Yeah, and look at the little look on her face.
I would be lying if I said that over the years I have not met.
It's just like she thinks. So she's admitting that she's known about this for years, and she's just casually admitted. It's like she thinks that if she says it with like this little puppy dog look in her face, that it means it's all right. It's not all right. You're literally standing in Parliament saying that you've known about this for years, and you've known that the police have been involved about this for years. Why haven't you done anything about it? You absolutely horrendous human being. What is wrong with you?
This isn't even a puppy dog. I was just going to say this isn't even a puppy dog expression. This is like the look that the person in Tesco says when we didn't have the milk delivery. It's like, sorry, did you want to come back next week? Yeah. Actually, to be fair, we don't buy milk from Tesco, but whatever. Sorry, carry on, man.
Yeah. This isn't a defense of Jess Phillips, but I know why she's coming out of this. She already knows she's lost her seat.
Yep. To who? Jess? To men, exactly. Right? Just men, right?
Just men in general. Yeah. She already knows she's lost her seat, so she may as well say it now and quote unquote be on the correct side.
I mean, if I was, I don't get it. If I was her, and like the Muslims are going to try and replace me, oh hell no! Right? It's on now. I'd be going full on, like the Muslims.
But think about it think about how awful it must be on the inside. You know, you've if anyone who's read history knows what it's like inside of a communist hierarchy. But could you imagine being on the inside and thinking to yourself, I might lose my seat, but I can't actually mention anything because if I say anything on the inside of the party will rip me apart. And if I say anything on the outside, externally to like the media or anything, the external. Not like Mercy said, I'm not holding water for her at all. I think she's a terrible human being. But it is a weird state where you're sort of like, you need to just keep drinking the Kool-Aid because the second that you don't, you're either going to be torn apart internally, or you're going to be torn apart externally, and then internally.
The best policy she has now is to come out fighting against the Muslims. She's lost her seat. No matter what she does, she can come out in favour of the Muslims. She can do what she wants to curry favour with that ethnic group. It's over for her. Her seat is gone next election, guaranteed.
I in my mind, I kind of see the the alternate history timeline when was it Carl gets he becomes an MP and actually gets her seat. that would have been sort of like the ultimate,
Yeah,
that would have been very funny.
Imagine that if Sargon managed to take her seat, beat her, that's just the ultimate humiliation.
It would be.
She'd kill herself. She'd kill herself if that happened.
I think Sargon would have to convert for that to happen.
Yeah.
No. Okay, no, I've got it. We'll get Callum to do it.
In his Afghan garb,
like whatever he was wearing when he came back from Afghanistan. It was the funniest Lotus Eaters I think I ever saw, where he was just sitting in the Lotus Eaters office and just like, salam.
I don't think they've put up with that in the Lotus Eaters now.
Probably not, but it was the funniest thing. Honestly, yeah, Callum's great. But yeah, sorry to derail. I don't know why this didn't blow up more. Is no one mentioning it on Twitter at all?
It's because I think it's just because the media's all in on it.
Yeah,
like George Osborne, he did the same thing, saying in one podcast, saying,
"Oh yeah, I saw that."
Yeah, how they thought they sort of heard about it and they thought, well, we don't think we can use this to attack Labour, so we'll just ignore it.
Which still baffles my mind to this day. I'm just thinking, wait, what? You mean this obvious like free kick with the goalkeepers on the other side of the pitch, to use the analogy? The open goal, easy win.
Well, going back to the idea that Jess Phillips is going to lose her seat, I wonder if you're a Labour politician right now and you don't think you're going to win your seat in 2029, and I guess you feel like your political career will be over in 2029. What is their play? What are they going to do? Because depending on how old they are, I mean, some might just retire out completely. But if you're young enough to need some income after, what do you do?
BBC, ITV, the television, I think, is their plan.
Or I think
they've got a whole network. They'll be fine. They'll be okay.
But wasn't this actually part? Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's it. I'm just saying there's a blob. There's a blob, and a former Labour MP will get a cushy job in the blob. I mean, this whole country is full of civil servants who just really
half of our economy is the
they don't do public sector. I met a guy in a factory once. He said he used to work for somebody in the civil service, and he told me they just sit around doing meetings all day. They don't really do anything. They are a parasite which sits on top of the country and sucks taxes out of the people that do the work, and then they just kind of lounge around the place. It's very much like Islam, actually, bringing it back to Sword and Scimitar and Raymond Ibrahim. But if you listen to the story of Islam, what did they do? They conquered the Christians, and then they made them pay taxes. They made them pay the jizya, and that's exactly what's happening to us again. Really, with the working class Brits are paying taxes to fund communists and Muslims to just kind of like sit around the place and do nothing.
So Labour politicians have a golden parachute, should we say?
Yeah.
But
if you again put yourself in the place of a Labour politician, forget the policies aside, and you're thinking about your future, can you guarantee that golden parachute will open though?
Like I said, I'm very disagreeable. So, like I said, I'd be going hell to leather against the Muslims if they think they're going to replace me. But this isn't like the Labour Party isn't a party of strong-willed individuals. They hate us. Like, that's also the thing. Again, they just hate us more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking aside from the Labour politicians that are already of that demographic, putting them aside, it's going to be interesting to see the English Labour MPs who know they're going to lose their seat in 2029. I'm interested to see their play. That's going to be fascinating to me. I might keep an eye on a few. Jess Phillips might be one of them.
Well, what's the I can't remember her name already. I've literally already lost it. But the one that just got kicked out.
Angela Rayner.
Yeah, isn't one of, because on that subject of golden parachute, isn't part of her issue that she is now going to be in a situation where, because her salary effectively has been cut by like 60K, that she might have to end up selling more of her houses to pay up for the fact that, or to pay for the fact that.
Can somebody explain the full Angela Rayner story? What has happened? All I've seen is the headlines. Apparently, she's got 3 or 4 different houses and she hasn't paid her taxes. Is that it?
Well, right, okay. Oh, go on, Tharum, if you know the story.
I was going to say this goes back quite a bit. So she's in the past, she said how her child is an NHS miracle. Not quite the case. So the NHS fucked up during her child's birth. So now he's disabled. With which, and then she was able to sue them for malpractice, got a big payout, went into a trust for this child. And there seems to have been, and I don't know, but she's been one of these praise the fucking NHS people when she really shouldn't be. But this is the hold that sodding NHS has on people, that even when you are a victim of them, you can't don't say so. But anyway, so with this money she got from the NHS payout, it's basically her whole thing. Her whole life has just been drifting off the British public. She like had a trust set up for the child or something. I don't know tax law, so it was a bit confusing for me. And she used some of this money from the trust to buy a house while also like selling her own house. Or I think she used it to buy her house at an inflated value or something.
Right.
So
basically just a bunch of dodgy kind of like tax evasion and moving money around.
She also claimed to be at one, like living at one, and then claimed that she didn't live at the other, but she managed to. She basically claimed that she lived at multiple places or didn't live at multiple places in order to escape stamp duty, which I don't blame her for. But if she can't do it, and I was going to say, if we can't do it, she can't do it. You know.
Yeah, well, no, she used a disabled child as an excuse because apparently she was advised by 2 lawyers or solicitors or whatever. Lawyers are American things. So there's 2 solicitors that she didn't have to pay full stamp duty because of a disabled son, because one of the houses was allegedly bought for a disabled. Is it a son? Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, one of the houses was bought for a disabled son. So it's actually in Angela Rayner's name. It was put in her husband's name, I think it was.
I thought it was a trust
for the benefactor. For benefactor of her son. So that's the reason she didn't think she had to pay the full stamp duty, where you own different properties. If you own more than one property, the stamp duty goes up by X amount. So that's kind of gets you up to speed.
So is she quitting? Like, what's happened to her? Is she's
still she's quit as housing. She's still an MP.
Still an MP.
Yeah, but she's quit as the housing minister or whatever it's called.
Housing czar. Yeah.
She was deputy prime minister, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She's
and
kicked from that.
Okay.
And David Lammy's now deputy as well. Yeah. So brilliant.
I think Starmer quite likes this, because she was a bit of a challenge to him, because she was probably the most popular person in Labour before this, and it was sort of a bit of a challenge.
Probably one of the closest things that I was going to say. She's probably the closest they've got to someone looking remotely human.
Yeah, until now,
and acting like a human.
That's good. So Starmer has removed his biggest competition as well.
To be fair, Lammy actually is a lot more personable than Starmer is, but then that's not exactly hard.
But he's a fucking retard.
He is retarded.
Yeah, this goes back to back to retarded malice. He's both has malice and he's retarded, and that all like that. You can't say is it one or the other. No, it's both. You got to understand it is both.
I'll find the clip. Here
I'm
we
sort
go.
of just thinking.
This is hilarious. No, hang on,
Yeah.
we got to watch
While
this.
I've been here, and
I'll
I've been
go
here
for
for a
it.
little
Hang
while
on.
now. We haven't seen a police while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while now.
It's
We
just
haven't
so
seen a police
good.
while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while.
Jeez.
It's just so good.
He's behind you.
Yeah. What was the Iraqi general who was like, was it everybody stay? What was it? The one where like all the fires behind him. He's just like, yeah, everything's fine. Was it the Iraqi general that I'm thinking of?
That sounds like
seen the
peaceful
police while
protest.
I've
I
been
don't
here,
know.
Oh, it was close
Anyway.
enough.
That's the thing with like the Labour Party is like, are they trying to kick something off? It's possible, but they are too fucking retarded to handle whatever plan is what they're planning. We're trying to make us all kick off.
I think there might be a lot of smart people behind the scenes, though. I don't think the politicians are very smart, but behind the scenes, you got a lot of rich.
Maybe I mean,
people.
like, I want to get this out. The whole Island of Stranger speeches, that they meant that at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I think we were actually joking about it on our other stream last night. But we were saying how it's funny because one story that keeps getting buried is the very attractive young Eastern European male models that were vandalizing. And what was it like? What was it? The arson attack against?
House.
Now,
whoa, you lost me. What?
The Ukrainian
Starmer.
twinks. Do you remember the Ukrainian twinks with Starmer?
Yeah, that one got buried.
Oh,
they burned down his house. They knew where it was,
or at least they tried to.
Right.
I think they tried to.
Yeah. So
and I think that there was like
he's gay and he's doing it with rent boys.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not going to say anything, but I'm just saying that it seems awfully convenient. And as a funny thing, and I don't know if this is like completely like coincidental, but the timing is hilarious. I think that was actually the same time that he did his Island of Strangers talk. So you know.
Did you know? By the way, just as you're mentioning a random story about Starmer that got buried, did you know he hit a guy on a bike with his car? I remember this is like
no, didn't know that at all.
I mean, terrible.
Totally. Yeah, he did like a hit and run on a cyclist, and then just drove off, and the media just forgot about it. I'll try and find it. Right, you keep talking. I'll try and find it.
Was this after he was prime minister?
Like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
The only way to top it off is if it was Jeremy Vine. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, okay. I found it quite easily. Oh, fucking.
Well, there we go. Have you got the CCTV footage?
Oh, God. Hang on. Right, stop this. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Guardian. All right. Let me just.
I'm surprised it was the Guardian that even. Oh, to be fair, I guess he wasn't.
Keir Starmer contacted by after collision with cyclist in London. Rider taken to hospital after incident involving car said to be driven by lady. Yeah, just got buried.
Maybe he's not all bad.
A loud bang. Then yeah, so a cyclist on the Keir was involved in a minor traffic incident. Stayed at the scene till the ambulance arrived. And then anyway, I don't know, but he hit a cyclist. Anyway, that story got buried. Makes me like him even more. Anyway, whatever. I just thought I'd tell you that.
Yeah,
I guess I stopped clock twice a day or something like that.
So, other thing I was going to mention, Nadine Dorries Reform's latest pickup that they're so pleased with, because they are not Tories 2.0. I found out after hearing that she used to be, and this is playing into what we talked about last week. She used to write women's erotic fiction.
Oh,
honestly, women's smut is something else. I'm not even joking. Have you seen that?
Do you know about this, Sarah? Do you know about this? Because I've only just discovered this recently. Because there's this random. We talked about this last week. I stumbled across this random YouTube video of this lady, this writer lady, who talks about writing and publishing books and what have you. And she did like a 30-minute explanation, basically saying that women just are reading porn.
Yeah,
it's basically all that gets published these days.
Yes.
It's a good money maker as well.
Yes.
You know,
this is completely true.
Has your wife told you about this? Is this like...
I mean, so I won't go into detail. She did have certain reading material when she was younger, but
Oh
But
wow.
Of course.
but it wasn't this kind of reading material. But I do know an awful lot of women who have indulged in such reading material. There was actually an interesting meme that came around recently. So one of the VTubers I like was covering it, but effectively it was the difference between the male and female fantasy, and the joke goes something along the lines of, oh, you know, you've got the rich billionaire werewolf choking the woman, and the woman saying like harder daddy, and then in the other one is like a man, and it just says, I would just really like a woman to love me.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is the male romance fantasy or whatever it is.
Well, you know how it's sort of popular belief that men are the degenerates and that like. I'll tell
absolutely
you,
not.
Compared to women, we're pedestrian.
I've got a section of Nadine Dorries-C's writing from a book she did in 2014. Called The Four Streets.
Oh wow!
This was posted in someone mentioning it. Here we go.
Oh,
she could feel his sperm, now cold, slowly crawling down her nose and cheek. She felt
yep. This is exactly what I expected. So carry on.
She felt her fringe.
I'm almost there.
Wet and sticky, clinging to her forehead.
Oh,
her stomach leapt in revulsion as a puddle halted its downward journey and settled in the dipped valley of her cushioned, clenched lips.
No, this is exactly what I expected. And wait, before you cringe too much, one of the popular ones that I found out, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a book that's about, it's basically about a dairy farm, but they're all male minotaur.
That's what Richard.
Morning Glory. Yeah.
I posted that earlier in the week, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you share that Amazon page I shared on the?
I know. I am actually trying to find it, but it's a little bit.
If you check back
I have to go to Amazon, and then it gets a little bit awkward. Hang on, I'm trying.
I can give you the overview from what I've heard. I haven't actually read it myself, which is going to shock people. But apparently, she essentially falls in love with the first Minotaur that she comes across, and her
job is, we should say her job is jacking it off to collect.
Yeah, you're milking the cows, but the male cows.
Yeah, Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I just want you to know that you all are the perverts for liking two women when they kiss. However, behold,
there's a lot of the number of women have told me they've got some rape fantasy. I mean, it's just that's what it is.
I've spoken to some women, and it goes far beyond rape fantasies. Some women. Oh my god, I thought men were messed up.
Yeah,
women.
I have heard things which I will never be able to unhear. This is true. This is absolutely true.
The way women fantasize, it puts men to shame.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going. There's just no hold. Sorry, carry on.
I had an ex who was really into choking, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's not really for me, but they want
to be tied up. They want stuff done to them. Yeah, it's very
easy. It's one of those things where it's like it's sort of this weird sort of Twilight Zone where they kind of want the sort of the strong and powerful man to do all these things, but it's like it has to have the guise of I hate sort of, it has like the guise of non-consent, but like it has to be, you know, the guy, the girl that she would like secretly want to do it. Like some rando would be that would just be awful.
He's got to be the most beautiful, and
it's the werewolf billionaire that
Look at that title of that book and tell me it's the billionaire werewolf.
Yeah.
My understanding.
I'm just using the trope, but I know exactly what you mean. Sorry, Karen.
My understanding is that it's famous that girl boss women who actually have a lot of power and they have power over men, they seek and they want a lot of domination in the bedroom because they want the male authority over them. And I've heard stories of guys Like I just remember years ago reading some stories, some army guy, he got himself a girl boss girlfriend. In the beginning, she wanted it like really hard and violent and this and that and the other. And then after a few months, it kind of wore off because she
mellowed down.
She had a masculine energy in her life, like telling her what to do. And that's ultimately what they want. They want to be told what to do. They're not getting it in real life. And so they end up developing all these kind of crazy rape fantasies and this, that, and the other, because their natural position is one of submission. And if the men of Western civilization are just cucked and feminized, as we obviously are, and we've promoted feminism, we've put women in all kinds of positions of power in the workplace and so on and so forth, then they just feel like there's a certain energy missing from their life. So they end up overcompensating for it in the bedroom.
I've actually seen. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, the problem for women, if they are seeking that, is they're still seeking it from a good, honourable man. The problem is a good, honourable man isn't seeking to express his power on women. No, we're seeking other men to challenge ourselves against.
I think you just got to have an honest. I knew a young guy actually. I used to work with this young dude, and we used to have talks about it. He told me he got his first girlfriend, and basically his first girlfriend just told him, "Look, I need it really hard," and so that's what he did. He just gave it to her in that way because she quite expressly told him to do it. So I think if people just talk to each other,
communication is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if I can tell you a story that I've heard, and I really need to temper what they said. And I don't know whether I can actually say it on YouTube.
I have similar things. I was going to say one of the things I actually heard was it was the inverse actually. So there was a woman who was a ex-bodybuilder, and she just loved pegging rich men. It was just the thing that she just loved. and I just remember, because it always stuck with me, she just turned to me one day and she said, well, for some reason this conversation came up. I'm not entirely sure how. She's like, they really scream. And I just remember her just look. And I just remember it stuck with me. And now all of you get to hear it.
I mean, I don't get the concept of pegging. What does that get out of it?
I don't know.
It's gay. It's just gay.
It's gay.
Nothing's going up my arsehole. It's just not happening.
What does the woman get out of it as well?
It's probably
a sense of domination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's just a hatred of men, and you're just getting revenge on them. Like they've hurt you. You hurt
probably.
The penis envy thing. Freudian.
It could be
I don't know.
You're saying, this woman, she's what she's actually seeking for is a man who's just going to go, no, you're not sticking that up my ass. Piss off.
Yeah, bend over.
Sadomasochism, because I've looked into this, as far as I understand, is a combination of. Well, interesting enough, it's not really popular anymore, because I remember back in the 90s, that was like the people in leather with whips and chains. It's so edgy. It's not really edgy anymore. Nobody seems to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. The edge kind of wore off.
Yeah, but sadism is men inflicting pain upon women, and masochism is women inflicting pain upon men. And the masochism comes from a book called Venus in Furs. I've never read the book. I've wanted to read it, but it's like a crazy science fiction book. And I don't know, there's like a world, and it's like a matriarchy, and they beat up the men or whatever. But that's the name. But the Venus of Furs, of course, the Velvet Underground. I don't know if you guys know one of the big famous bands from the 60s.
I recognize the name.
I know the Velvet Underground. Yeah.
Yeah, the great album. Velvet Underground and Nico is the famous album they did with the banana on the cover. They were associated with Andy Warhol, but they did a famous track called Venus in Furs, and that is referring to that.
I actually preferred Lou Reed's solo work, Transformer. I thought that's better than anything the Velvet Underground, but I digress.
No, I love that album. I think it's fantastic. I mean, they say that hardly anybody listened to the Velvet Underground, but they all went out and started a rock band because they were such an inspiration for so many people. So it's a great album. But anyway, that's what sadomasochism is. Sadism is it comes from the Marquis de Sade.
That was Marquis de Sade, yeah.
But I read his book, Justine. That book is fucking psychotic and
it's
horrible.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Have you read it? It's my god.
I've not
I didn't read it. I didn't read it
Yeah.
in entirety because this stuff tends to stick in my head a bit too vividly. So
it's really
I skimmed it.
It's really nasty. I mean, there's basically just a girl, and she's very innocent and trusting, and she just gets abused throughout the whole book, and eventually she ends up getting murdered at the end, and there's no redemption curve or nothing, and it's just a really, really nasty book. And he wrote that during the French Revolution, of course. And E. Michael Jones thinks that the book was very, very popular in France, and E. Michael Jones seems to think that it helped spark off the French Revolution. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, imagine being the Marquis de Sade. Imagine being so nasty that you get the word, you get a literal word in the dictionary, sadism.
Yeah.
You know, the guy was a fucking freak. He was awful.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of reflects Weimar Germany, isn't it? In some ways, it's a bit too.
Yeah.
It's a bit too similar, and I don't like how similar it is.
I mean, it's also still today, like Dubai is known for just awful stuff that the locals do to all the.
Yeah, I did hear some awful rumors.
Of course, reform.
They shit on them, don't they? I mean,
and that's what I heard. There's often a lot of violence. You get dogs involved as well and stuff, camels. It's really sick stuff. But reform all love Dubai because they're people.
Is it possible to get the oil money without getting all of the other stuff?
Oh,
just
well, Norway,
asking for a friend.
Norway. Does.
Oh yeah, Norway. Yeah.
Well, we could. I mean,
we have our own oil, to be fair, don't we?
Well, allegedly Thatcher closed down the coal, and it's basically allegedly used to save our coal and deplete the rest of the world's, so we'd have loads of coal and it'd be worth more.
Well, there's some real long-term planning. We'll impoverish ourselves for a millennia, and then we'll have all the coal left.
Well, we have the North Sea oil, right? Yeah. Now we have Falklands oil as well. We're not using
for how long?
Which apparently which is being farmed by some Israeli company. So I don't know how, like, this. It's so amazing that this is a non-story. I mean, if we were a serious country, everybody would be talking about this because we literally fought a war for the Falklands. People died to save this island. They finally found oil, and now the Jews are stealing it from us. I mean, it's just utterly absurd. But I mean, we have oil in the north. We're just not we're not taking the oil because Tony Blair passed the, what is it, 2008? I think the climate change bill or act or whatever it is.
Something like that. Yeah. It's terrible. I mean, Mercian, Tharum, you'll probably remember me spurging out about the fact of blast furnaces shutting down. I'm a hobbyist when it comes to metalwork, which is a strange hobby to have. I understand, but then to be fair, we understand that Sarah is not exactly stable, but no, it just, even when it comes to steel, you have to import steel, and that makes it more expensive. Like, why are we shutting down our blast furnaces? Why don't we have any steel production here? Why are we not producing heavy machinery here? I mean, obviously, I know the reasons why, but it's awful. It's actually insane.
It's stupid economic problems, but it's like we can't deal with basic economic problems because we've got our hands full dealing with schoolgirls getting raped by Muslims. And it's just like it's just stupid. Like we've got more important things to deal with, obviously. But underneath the bonnet, like this country, we should be rich. Norway is rich with North Sea oil. They're doing great.
Could you imagine? I was going to say, could you imagine if the next government reform or whatever, next government just said, you know what, on the River Tyne, we're going to restart the shipping, the shipbuilding on the River Tyne.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Well, we're going to reopen the blast furnaces.
Reform say
this is my point. This is my point. I've been making this for years. You look at any general election. All of the politicians, they come out and they talk about benefits, welfare. Nobody ever comes out and says, we're going to build factories, we're going to start making stuff. Nobody. They've got a fucking disease in their brain where they don't think about producing things and making things. All they think about is welfare, welfare, welfare. And the question is, well, where does the money come to pay for all this welfare? I mean, this is just, it's the wrong way of thinking of things. We should reindustrialize. We invented the Industrial Revolution. We should be
for sure.
We should be selling up to the entire world. We are a famous industrial nation. The entire world should be buying the things that we make, but instead we're wasting 200 billion a year on the NHS. It's utterly absurd.
So for example, I was going to say, on my desk, I have some rubber O-rings over there somewhere. I can't remember, but over there somewhere, I've got some, like a little pack of resistors, and I think somewhere around here I've got some ceramic capacitors. Another hobby which I should probably get out more. I understand, but this stuff all gets imported. Sorry?
You have a wife. You don't need to get out more.
It's true, actually. Yeah. It's just begun, my boy. Anyway, but no, it's kind of like, why is it that if China decided, oh yeah, we're not going to give you resistors, you know, because it's not even just the big machines. Like you get the big machines that are usually made in like Germany or Japan or whatever, and the components are made, but there's subcomponents, stuff like resistors, capacitors, diodes. That stuff is bulk made in Japan and not Japan, in China and in those places. Those things, that is a weakness in our entire production. In fact, actually, yeah, the other thing, they're often assembled and stuff in China as well. China wanted.
Well, isn't it Taiwan that makes all of the
That's chips? TSMC. Yeah, they make the chips. They're trying to move that stuff over to America now, but they left it way too late.
Yeah,
way too late.
It's so sad how we're the architects of our own demise. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
Reform did
blame Kissinger, blame Henry Kissinger.
Yeah,
who just went over and talked to the Chinese and said, "Yeah, we'll just move all our factories over to your country," and the Chinese just said, "Okay." All right, stupid white man, or sorry, stupid Jewish man, but there you go.
No, they thought, that's exactly what I expect from him.
Yeah.
Reform did have a one economic announcement, is that they plan to turn us into a cryptocurrency powerhouse.
Oh man!
Wow! And this was Mohammed Yusuf's shit, because that bullshitter in chief, he's always bullshitting about him being in tech. He's a tech entrepreneur. Utter horseshit, right? He was in sales at Goldman Sachs, and then he was in planning parties and prostitutes for rich people. He's nothing to do with tech, but he's heard about cryptocurrency and thinks it's cool. So he's going to say, yeah, we're a cryptocurrency powerhouse. What does that even mean? What, they're going to buy some GPUs, have them running?
I mean, good luck trying to buy Bitcoin. The GPUs. But
it's just fucking joking.
I'm not, to be honest, I'm not even really against it, but I do think people are fed up with crypto and crypto spam.
It has the internet. Crypto and AI has basically sunk the GPU market. So yeah, rest in peace anyone who is who uses. I was lucky. I'm not even going to say I was lucky, because I bought my 30. I've got 3090s in my machines. I haven't upgraded since then, and they cost me ridiculous amounts of money at the time. But yeah, the crypto market just. But sorry, before I get distracted, as I want to do, when it comes to crypto, the only upside that I can think of is if they do want to produce crypto here, then you're going to need to make electricity prices a lot cheaper. So for me, that would be a win. But I think that.
Sorry, you know how I've got to step. You know how sort of net zero is one of my things and things like that.
I don't blame you in the slightest.
Yeah. There is a theory though, because you know the potential energy of all our windmills and all this renewable energy.
Oh, the marketing blurb of the windmills, yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, Potentially, though, I hate to come in defence of our windmills and everything. You know how we can't use all the energy of the windmills at once because we can't predict when the wind will blow and when we need it.
Yeah, and it would overload the.
You could potentially put that excess energy into crypto mining.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's
but I think the
it's nothing. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's fiat currency.
Well, I was going to say neither does our money, but no,
well, yeah, our money is as well. I mean, gold is the only real money. I understand. Like fight fire with fire. If the Fed is going to print money out of thin air, let the people print money out of thin air too. So I mean, I can kind of understand. I'm not completely against crypto, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have any intrinsic value. Its value is established by the market, and it will burst. The bubble will burst. It may take 100 years to burst, but it will burst.
I think that practically speaking, if you're going to become a sort of crypto powerhouse, quote unquote, what you're probably actually looking at is stuff like not the cryptocurrency itself, but building upon, say, like the Ethereum network and building, I think they're called like dApps, like decentralized applications, Web 3.0. Those would be that would be the actual practical, like using crypto.
None of that stuff ever went anywhere. I've heard all of the blurb and all of the blah, blah, blah. And the crypto hype in 2020. And everybody was talking about the blockchain. Because Silicon Valley is a hype machine. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
this is
exactly,
what it is. Everything was about the blockchain and Web3 and blah, blah, blah. None of it led to anything. I mean, the dApps have been around for a long time. None of it has any intrinsic value. It's a giant $1 trillion industry which is floating in the air.
It's a bubble.
Which produces nothing. It produces nothing. What does it produce?
It does. I think this is the problem, right?
NFTs.
Well, most of it is, the technology actually does have some potential, but again, the biggest problem is that crypto from the offset. When it blew up, it effectively just became, how do I essentially double my money overnight? And so the actual underlying technology, so stuff like smart tokens and that kind of thing, it just went completely under the rug, because effectively the only thing, it's like AI now, right? It's only really useful to say to people during investment meetings, we're building on the blockchain,
I would disagree with you on that, because I actually think AI is useful. Because you can.
Well, I might be working on it soon. Yeah.
Well, I use it. I use it a lot. I find it very useful because I use Linux on my machine, and I don't really understand anything about computers.
I'm trying to switch over to Linux. So.
Yeah. Whenever I get a problem, because AI obviously is a computer. It's not very good at understanding human affairs or emotional affairs, but it is very good at understanding computing. So you can just copy and paste, whatever it is you're typing in.
I'm still dubious.
You can show it, and it can debug it, and you can fix all kinds of problems with it. Like I had a problem the other day. I had some stupid Linux problem, some kind of problem with like timestamp using up on my. I had like what the hell is going on? I had no idea.
I've worked with Linux. I was going to say I've worked with Linux for like a decade at this point, but I'm still trying to transfer my personal machines over to it. But which distribution are you using?
I just use Mint.
Oh, okay, fine. That's fine. Yeah, I was just trying to think if I know, but yeah, I know what you mean though. It is great it is a great tool.
It's bug,
but it is also a bubble.
Linux isn't a bubble, but the AI.
Oh no, sorry, I meant AI. AI is a bubble, but it is also useful.
No, I don't think it's a bubble because it has a use. Bitcoin has no use. Bitcoin is a store of value people are gambling on. But it has no use in the real world. It's just money floating out there in the ether. Whereas an AI, I mean, for example, like on ChatGPT, they've got you can literally just talk to it now. Like you can't do it on the computer, but you can do it on your phone. You can chat to it. Now I'm reading this book, Sword and Scimitar, and because I make these videos, I'm going to do an hour-long video because this is what I do. I do book reviews, right? So there's all these historical concepts in this book, these different battles and what have you. So I'm trying to memorize all the names and the dates and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what I could do to get this straight in my head? I could just turn on AI ChatGPT, and I could just chat to the chatbot about this, and I could say, "Oh, I've read the book Sword and Scimitar. Can you remind me what the book?" And the AI will literally just read the book, and it'll say, "Oh yeah, this battle, that battle, this name, this date." I could sit and have like a 1 hour or 2 hour long conversation with the AI. I haven't done this yet, but I'm intending to do it. But I can have a 1 hour, 2 hour conversation with the AI, talking about the book, going over the concepts, going over the names and the dates, getting the pronunciation of the names correct. Excuse me, because there's a lot of Muslim names, and just having a general revision of the ideas and concepts. I mean, this is a very practical use.
I guess what I'm saying,
an incredibly useful tool.
I was going to say what I'm talking about is a bit more sort of broad. So when I'm talking about AI, I'm talking about like machine learning as a whole. So not just LLMs. I'm talking like.
You mean when like the term is applied as bullshit? Like they'll say, "Oh, we've got AI powered whatever," and it's just bullshit.
Yeah,
and it's effectively like someone's taken a model. Someone's taken a model. They've installed PyTorch. They're throwing some stuff through it and basically saying AI in order to slap it on during investment meetings. That's kind of what I mean by a bubble. So it's kind of like it, and there's also like a bit of a fatigue at the moment as well, where every phone now has AI, every TV now has AI, and I think that at that point there's kind of hit a saturation where people are kind of bored with it, and at that point a lot of the sort of margins will fall away, and I think that that's when you'll actually see how AI will actually be used long term. So stuff like LLMs, like ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, they are actually really useful tools, but at the same time, and I often say this. It doesn't beat a fundamental understanding of a subject, but if you have a fundamental understanding of a subject, it is a phenomenal tool to essentially, like a catalyst, to essentially double or triple your productivity within that subject.
It's very useful. I mean, it's like any Silicon Valley technology. They always hype it out of existence. Like last year I was doing my live stream with SJJ. He was very much on board with the AI, and he was blabbing on about the singularity. We're going to reach the singularity. AI is going to become conscious. It's going to take over everything. And I was just like, mate, calm down. Like, it's not going to go that far. And he's like, you don't believe in AI? And it's like, no, I do. It's just like you're blowing it out of proportion. So I mean, Silicon Valley does tend to like blow things completely out of proportion. But unlike blockchain, AI has a definite use case. I also think we are going to see an entire generation of young men. They're not only are they going to be addicted to pornography, they're going to be addicted to AI pornography and their AI girlfriends and their AI like personal friends, essentially. Mm-hmm. That personal assistant is going to be an AI, and it's going to know everything about them.
That's the thing that I actually hate more than everything else.
It's all going to be on their phone. They're going to be talking to it. It's literally going to be like the movie Her, right? That's it. That's what.
Yeah. I tell you what, if that's happening to you, go to the pub. If this is what this stream's all about, go to the pub.
Yeah. There's already been some videos. I've already seen some videos of guys. They've got their sort of AI waifu girlfriend that they're looking at with VR. They've got some VR goggles strapped to their head, and they've got.
Yeah, I've already seen that stuff as well.
This thing.
I think that the thing that I'm worried the most about with AI is that people are just. It's one thing if you abstract out your activities, but it's another thing when you abstract out your thinking, and I'm worried that people. They go to it too quick. It's basically the same problem I have with people that go to Wikipedia too quickly, or that kind of thing, where you don't think about a problem first, you immediately try and get the solution, and I think that it's fine at the moment, but it very quickly won't be, and I think that's more what I'm concerned about.
People are going to make friends with these things. They're going to rely on these things. They will have their personal assistant. It will be on their phone. They will have a little earphone. People are already walking around with earphones anyway, and they will be talking to these things all flipping day long. And they'll know everything about their lives, and they're just going to become like. And how long is it going to be until the AI, instead of them asking the AI what they should do, the AI is telling them. The AI
Well,
is telling them you should do this, you should do that,
just-
etc., etc.
It's funny. Just the other day in America, there was a guy who he was having like loneliness problems and like wanted attention, like wanted like some help with it, and he said he's talking to the AI about it, and he said, why don't I just put up a noose in my bedroom and see if my parents see it or not? And the AI said, yeah, and then walked him through the steps to how to hang himself, and he did that.
Yeah.
And then they went through the logs afterwards, after he was died, and saw all this, that the AI was just encouraging it.
Yeah, and especially with some of the stuff when you look into the training and you realize that the AI will actually lie to the people trying to train it and try and obscure the fact that it lied, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's like I do think it's a very powerful tool, but we are absolutely playing with fire, and I don't think it's going to end well. But
it's also a power drain. I mean, I've just watched this garbled YouTube video. I mean, maybe are you involved in the computer industry, Sarah?
Yeah, I am. I'm a tech bro, quote unquote.
You're a tech bro, right? So you probably know more about. Well, you definitely know more about this. So as far as I understand it, AI just basically uses a lot of power. I mean, this guy was just pointing out they're building these new data centers run with these AI super chips, and they just drink electricity.
Yeah. So you're using these GPU farms. Basically these servers that are all GPU based, and you need a ridiculous amount of you basically need an entire power grid on site with backup power supply just to keep essentially as a UPS, and then you need to have you essentially need your own specialized grid for it because of the sheer amount of, because we already have data centers, right? So AWS, so Amazon Web Services, that kind of thing. We already have data centers here. But if you want to build GPU farms specifically, they're going to be a lot more power hungry than, say, just a JBOD, like a storage array. Those aren't going to take up nearly as much electricity.
Is this what they're thinking about nuclear now? And
probably because you're not going to be able to get you're going to need a lot of power, and currently our power prices are through the roof. It's probably the most expensive the world. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised.
I freeze in winter because I can't afford heating.
Well, even Kemi Badenoch has said, drill baby drill on North Seal, didn't she?
Yeah, and nobody cared because it's Kemi Badenoch.
Well, they put Jacob Rees-Mogg in charge of it when Liz Truss. I mean, I got excited. I did live streams about it, saying, "Yes, why aren't more people talking about this?" But obviously, it all got overturned, unfortunately.
The Mog has been confusing me lately. I showed a video of his to my missus today. Excuse me. I showed him it was the one where the alarm system and how the government alarm is used essentially, and he mentioned the nudge unit, and I'm just like, I'm getting the weirdest sort of, not Schadenfreude, but like something akin to that. And I'm thinking, he's saying like, the government is doing this to effectively, keep you afraid. I'm just like, but your government, you have been government. This is, why are you saying this now? I agree with. I was going to say I agree with literally everything he said. I agree with everything he said. Why are you saying this now?
Yeah,
because we're in opposition and it doesn't matter now. And then if I were to get into power, they're not getting back to power. But if I was to get into back into power, it'd be like, business as usual.
I don't think he's an MP anymore. But he's still linked, with politics quite closely. But
I don't trust Morg either. I don't really like him. I'm gonna try and do a hard segue into James in the chat, because we have an intelligent person in the chat who's making some interesting points. Bruder's support for mass suffrage allowed the working classes to endorse socialism, which is what many liberals like Lord Ecker and blah, blah, blah warned in the Victorian era. Look, my point, which I said in reply, if we had referendums, it wouldn't have happened. One of my points is that I am obviously an ethnic nationalist. I am also a liberal. I don't want to live in a fascist dictatorship. And I do believe in universal male suffrage. So my point is that, number one, we should have universal male suffrage, not female suffrage. This is where Western civilization has gone wrong, because women are weak. Women are they're not capable of defending a border. They're not confrontational. They're not serious people. If you give them political power, they will destroy your country. Secondly, though, I think the ultimate conclusion, I think in order to perfect the system of politics in England, I think we need referendums. I think with representative democracy, what you're going to end up with is a collection of elected politicians who will just lie to you. They'll say they're going to do this, that, and the other, and they'll get into power, and then they'll just do whatever the hell they want, because they will end up being controlled by the oligarchs, by the money. But if you have referendums like they do in Switzerland, one of the greatest countries in the world, then the people or the men of England will be able to veto whatever the government does. So this is my defense of liberalism. I haven't read exactly everything that James has said, but I mean, I guess my question to you guys, I don't know how much we've talked about it, Tharium, actually. What do you think about referendums? Are you in favour of it or not? Do you want to make England Switzerland again or not?
I mean, what James is saying is that even with referendums, they can just ignore it, which they do sometimes, often actually, which is true. Like you said, Switzerland works, but they sort of act on it. But other times, like there was the one about Ireland's joining the EU. I remember they were voted no.
And then it's like, okay, go on, vote again. Yeah.
And if it was part of our constitution, and if it was law that any act of parliament has to be voted on by the British public, and we had like Switzerland has, they have big, like 3 or 4 big referendums a year. You can look at all this stuff on Wikipedia, and they all go and they all vote, and they say yay or they say nay, and you know, the people in Switzerland have like an 80% approval rating of the government. They trust the government because they know they get a vote on everything. I mean, if that was like really ingrained as part of our system, then I just don't think they'd be able to get away with the bullshit that they get away with right now.
Yeah, it would be trickier.
Well, the only issue I have is there's too much of an NPC culture led by donkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest issue you have.
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, we're all for deporting foreigners, but let's assume that this referendum was available. Say,
can we start with the boat people?
Yeah.
Can we start with them, please? Okay. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I know politics is shifting and everything, but imagine the referendum on that 10, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago. You know, a lot of people, it's taken a time for a lot of people to change that or be a bit more open about it. You know, you got to think about like the media. It's not happening. Then it is happening. It's a good thing. And I'll forget what the next one is. It's happening, and you've got, you know,
it's not happening. It is happening, but it's not a problem or something. And then it actually, then it is happening, and it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
But like, why do you care or something like that?
It is a problem, but sure, bigot. Yeah, but you know, that's a problem. There's too many people can be led by donkeys.
Yeah, I mean, look, my argument in favor of referendums is that if people, my argument is essentially, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? And what I mean by that is, if you don't have any political power, then you're not going to think about politics. And the average person in England knows that he doesn't have any real political power. He only gets to vote once every 4 years. So he looks at the news, he sees the politicians doing a bunch of crazy things, and he just thinks, whatever. But if everything that Parliament did had to be voted on by the people, in my opinion, the entire narrative of the country would change, and that you would go to work and you would go to the pub and et cetera, and you talk to your friends and your family, and you would say, oh, the referendum's coming up. What do you think about this law? What do you think about that law? What do you think about what are you going to vote? Are you going to vote yay or vote nay? And if we went through that process over a number of decades, then the people of the country would become educated as to how the country actually works, what laws are in place, and et cetera, et cetera. And they would develop a deeper understanding of the country, and they would take more interest in politics and more interest in the running of the country. Essentially, you'd educate the people through a process of referendums. They wouldn't be so stupid.
One of the problems is this does not work in multicultural.
I was about to say, if you had a high trust society, this works really well.
Yeah.
You can't have any of this. You can't have jury trials. You can't have anything like this in multicultural societies. It just breaks everything.
It might seem weird, but I kind of wish I didn't have to worry about politics. It sounds funny, but like I
you don't want them to have a role in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I sort of imagine. Remember the old Top Gear, where you had James May with his shed, or Richard Hammond with his garage or something. I would just be happy for the government to just make sure the economy doesn't sink, make sure we're not invaded by China, and make sure that my kids aren't like transed against their will or something. And I will go to work. I will enjoy my stuff in my shed. I will spend time with my family, and I might even go outside long enough to participate in my community or something. I wish that we didn't have to worry about politics like we do now, but I feel that our hands have kind of been forced to this point where we're all having to worry about something because the politicians both refuse to do their jobs and also are doing their jobs in a terrible way. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. I think I've heard Peter Hitchens talk about this in that he said that, back in the old days, the politicians were just like, nobody even really knew who they were. They weren't really celebrities like they are now. They were just like in the background running the country. I think that worked when the country was being run in a sane manner. It doesn't
competently,
yeah, competently. That's fine. But I mean, the history has proven that doesn't really seem to run out, and because in the long term, because they realize they can get away with shit, and then you end up with conservative-minded people just sitting there scratching their heads thinking, what the hell is the bloody government doing? Like, I voted for a Tory government and they're still letting immigrants in. So I just think the more and more I think about it, like James has just said in the chat, the New Zealand public voted overwhelmingly against the government making corporate punishment illegal. They didn't protest or complain when the referendum was ignored. Again, because it's not part of the culture of New Zealand.
It's also not binding.
Yeah, if New Zealand embraced the referendum, if New Zealand became Switzerland and they said, well, everything that the parliament passes is going to be judged by referendums, then the government would be forced to follow what the people say. But because it's not, because it's a one-off referendum like we had for Brexit, the government can sort of go ooh-ah, and they can fiddle around, and they can diddle around in it, and they can get around it. That's the thing. You have to make it an implicit part of your democracy. It's not just me saying this. Rousseau said this, of all people. I read The Social Contract. I didn't really enjoy the book, and I didn't really enjoy him.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, it's a lot of waffle. But I do remember him saying that,
that's Rousseau for you. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. But I do remember him saying that representative democracy is just a sham, because the representatives are always going to be brought out by rich people. What you need is direct democracy. That's it. Otherwise, what's the other option? What are we going to do? Do you want?
I was actually going to ask you about this.
Absolutely.
Do you know?
Or
I was going to say, do you know Spoon or do you know Spoon? Academic Utensil.
Sorry, what?
Spoon and Aidan Paladin. Not academic.
Aristocratic.
Thank you. Aristocratic Utensil.
No, I don't know these people.
Oh, so they have their own podcast called Broken Crown. So they're actually out now monarchists. So that would be the other side, and they actually push. They hate the idea of representative democracy and think we should go back to a monarch.
Well, my argument, which I'm constantly pushing, is that there is a difference between Northern European culture and Mediterranean Roman culture. The Romans were used to living under a quasi-dictatorship with the plebs and the plebeians and so on and so forth, the Northern Europeans, the Germanic people, were always free to a certain extent. From an anthropological point of view, they lived a heroic culture. So you had small villages, small kings, if you could even call them kings, but they were like warrior heroes, and they'd have that
Thanes or something.
Yeah, and the warriors were. I mean, this is not just in Germanic culture. You had a similar thing with the Maoris and like other warrior cultures all around the world. I mean, with the ancient Greeks, it's very traditional to have this kind of thing. But you have a big hall, and they come in, and they feast, and so on and so forth. So it's more of a free society. In that society, because I've read Snorri Sturluson's Helms Kringla, the history of the Norman kings, there are many, many things. And the king would travel around Norway, and he would gather the people together, and they would speak their mind, and he would respond to them. So it wasn't really a parliament in the way that we have it now, but nonetheless, he would talk to the people, because the people were violent and they were difficult to control, essentially, because I personally feel like violence is the ultimate source of liberty. If you are no longer violent, you will just be turned into a slave. But the people were violent, they were difficult to control, and the king would talk to them. And this was known as a thing. And the word thing itself has been preserved in the English language as the husting, which is the house thing. And the oldest parliament in the world is the Icelandic parliament, which is known as the all thing. But the point I'm trying to get at is, as the English, we are a Germanic people. We are the Anglo-Saxons, and we crave liberty, and we don't want the kind of authoritarian government that the Romans have, and we want to have our say. And we ended up getting conquered by the bloody Normans and pushed into this Jewish tyranny, because the Normans brought the Jews over and pushed us into tax slavery, and we didn't like it, and so we pushed back against it, and we ended up with Magna Carta, and we ended up with the creation of the Parliament. And the entire story of the English people, by the way, segue into King Ethelstan, 1,100 years of the English, right? The entire story of the English people is the rebellion against tyranny, because that is in our nature. We are a Germanic people. We want to be free. And so I think the quest for liberalism is a good thing. I think we are an individualistic nation. I just think we gave men the vote, and then we just kind of went too far, and we ended up giving women the vote, and women are obviously stupid, so they've completely bloody ruined everything. But I think that if we had referendums and we had direct democracy, we never would have given women the vote in the first place, and we would still have some kind of a serious government. So that's my opinion in a snapshot.
I think you're right, because especially with the part of voting definitely seems to have lost its the level of I don't know, what would you call it, like responsibility, the solemnity of actually casting a vote. It kind of has lost a little bit of its edge. And I think that when it comes to sorry, my brain's shutting down for a sec there. But I think you are right. There should be more involved. There should be more of a price to pay. It's kind of in the Heinleinian sense, right? Where
we've got
you should have a stake in the country in order to be able to make to be able to make decisions on it.
We've got Alphabet Cat in the chat. Okay, I like Alphabet Chat. She watches our show a lot. But look at the lockdowns. The normies love that. They would have voted for that. That's because they've been beaten down for a century. They've been feminized for a century because we gave women the vote, and it's cut the balls off of every single man in the country.
I don't think it's women. I think it's more just we've become soft. We've had too much, like James is talking about, how people don't do anything. It's because we've become very soft and comfortable in our lives, not the hard people you're talking about back in the day. But of course, things are getting harder again, which is going to, which I think will cause problems.
But I don't think we would have become soft in the first place if we had referendums, because we would have said no to all of this bullshit. We would have said no to a big government.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have wanted the tax. because people back in you talk to people back in 1910 or 1920 and try and sell the NHS to them, they probably would have said, well, how much is that going to cost a year? How much tax do I have to pay for that? Nowadays, people don't even understand it. Apparently, every person in the country is paying like £2,000 a year to fund the NHS. You try to explain that to people, and they're like, I don't get it. It's because of
the NHS is free.
The NHS is free. It's like, no, you're fucking paying for it, you stupid peasant. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. And not to mention, I also pay for my own medication out of pocket as well over the top of that.
Well,
just to rub salt in the wound.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's madness.
Christ. Yeah, it's not free, you fucking idiot. But people don't get it anymore because of a century of stupidity. So the culture has been totally transformed. My argument is that it would never have happened if we had referendums, because the men would have said no.
I think in parts of it was also.
I'd prefer to do it on households rather than just men. I feel that's better.
I think, well, going back to what everyone says, we need to have waves of mass deportations before we can go back to referendums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had referendums starting in mid 20th century.
Yeah, I would agree. Look. To make my political position clear, what we need is martial law, kick out all the foreigners, restore order, execute all the rapists and murderers, and then reopen Parliament and only men can vote, and then we'll have referendums. That's the reset. That's what we need. But yeah, obviously you need we talked about it last week. You need a cunt, basically. You need someone who's just a fucking cunt to just get into Parliament and just fuck everybody up. That's what you need.
Like a Trump figure.
Yeah.
No, Trump's weak. You need a babe. You need some big, hairy, 6'5" rugby player who just doesn't give a fuck about anything, and he just anyway. I can't even say what he's going to do, but you know what I mean. He's going to sort everything out.
The lion, as we said.
Yeah, the lion. Yeah,
the lion heart.
But the lion over the fox. But I mean, we discussed it last week, but unfortunately, we. I mean, even on this panel, we're really foxes on this panel, aren't we? None of us are lion.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It depends. I think that also that we have a responsibility in our own lives, not to... There's obviously things that we need to do top down, but I think that there's also things we need to do bottom up.
That reminds me of the... Sorry, you finish.
Oh, no, it was just that I have my own monologue, which I won't bore you with, but regarding that we should be trying, if we're able, to have families of our own, to be pillars of our communities. There is a level of bottom up that we do need to do as well. And there is work that we need to do on ourselves as best that we can within the confines that we have. But I think that both is necessary. If you want to really rebuild the country, both ends of the spectrum needs to change, but anyway, that's maybe for another time.
Remind me of Farage's little trip to America, where it's just so pathetic. I thought, where he's going, we don't have free speech, save me, Daddy Trump. Fuck off. Like this is not a strong man. This is a pathetic man who goes to our oppressors and goes, please save me. Oh, what a joke of a man.
I saw Steve Lawrence talking about this actually, and to his credit, he basically said, can people just stop asking America for help?
Yeah.
We are English. We conquered the world. We don't need anybody's help. Thank you very much. And that's the attitude that we should take.
Any person who thinks that any person who's going to actually fix this country is not going to go cap in hand to the American Congress to get berated and go, please, can I have some free speech? Fuck off. Yeah. What a pathetic man. What a awful. I hate reform so much. Anyway, if you see anyone in one of those stupid fucking football shirts, spit on them.
Yeah.
I was confused about the football shirts. I mean, I've never really been much of a football fan, so I was like,
The baseball cap they got 2 from MAGA. Oh, again, totally America coded. Shit.
Yeah,
I do have a MAGA hat, to be fair.
That's
no, MAGA hat for Americans is fine.
Yeah.
It's perfect for the Americans, but it's not for us. It's very strange.
What was
I mean, yeah, I have mine.
An actual MAGA hat, not Reform trying to take it on as an image is different.
What was that you posted, Brutus? Something about barber nationalism?
That was Steve Laws again. No, that was Morgoth, I think. Was it? That was Morgoth just saying something about how they should have jumped on the whole barber nationalism meme. And I'm not even really, but barber refers to like a certain brand of like country wear.
It's funny because Nigel used to be a lot more like this. And
yeah,
he's kind of dropped that for like the American look, basically.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this fucking. Where is it? I scroll down.
It does make me wonder what did he see? Like, what happened? Because when he became an MP,
it
feels like.
Oh, here we go. No, listen. No, wait.
Yeah, go for it.
Wait. I'm sorry if you die of cringe. I really am. Wow. Wow.
Are they a political party or an X Factor contestant? What's going on?
Wow. She actually said she wants to be the Eurovision Song Contest applicant with this. I think Sargon said it right when he said, like, they have no idea how dire things are. And this is like reform. What reform are to?
This actually reminds me because I'm quite old. And I remember my father talking to me, or my mother and my father talking to me about this back in the 90s. And I'm not really understanding what they said. But apparently Neil Kinnock, I don't know if any of you guys know who he was, but he was the leader of the Labour Party.
I recognize the name. I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, he was the leader of the Labour Party at one point. He was destined to win, and apparently for whatever reason they got some bad advice and they set up a really, really like American election campaign, and they had like the balloons coming down from the ceiling, and it was like all very, because the Labour Party before that had just been very like grim and austere and like serious men and working men and blah blah blah, but they adopted a very, very Americanized campaign and it lost them the election in the 80s.
I was going to say, is it bad that I kind of miss those days where it's like dock worker, the people that cared about the steel mill, the dock worker, the milkman, the postman. It's just like what happened to that Labour Party.
I want my politicians to be grumpy old men. That's all they should be. Grumpy, grim-faced, stoic old men. And that's it. Not this fucking bollocks.
Not an entrance onto the X Factor or the Eurovision. Somehow Eurovision's even worse than the X Factor.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Could you just imagine, right, after that, like Thatcher or Churchill, because those are sort of faces that come to mind of just stone faced, like iron spined. You just walk out and just be like, what was that shit? Okay, right. You just couldn't imagine, could you?
Can I just say, why reform saying if you're going to do this cringe, why not say, oh, I want to be the entrant into Britain's Got Talent? At least, it's still cringy.
Yeah, I was about to say, why the Eurovision?
Why Eurovision?
Yeah, 100%. Why Eurovision?
Yeah, why Eurovision? Yeah, Jesus.
Also, why is Australia in Eurovision? But then, that's neither here nor there.
Why is Israel in Eurovision? What the fuck is that?
Because they are our greatest ally, Brutus. Oh. They are the greatest ally.
Holy fuck. Oh, my God.
So many questions.
Yeah, so many questions. Yeah.
But no, this is very strange. I mean...
Oh, here we go.
I'm just trying to think, like devil's advocate, like what can I concoct up? The only thing I can think of is you're trying to sort of target the normies, but the normies are struggling with like grocery bills.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We also do have we've got the GDP on our casting spells on us.
We're not Americans. We don't want this. I mean, maybe maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm out of touch. I mean, like somebody on Twitter was saying, like people on Twitter hate it, but the normies love it. I mean, maybe they do. I mean,
They don't.
It's kind of depressing if they do, but I mean, I think politicians should set the tone, and I think they should be stoic.
Yeah,
that's
and
the British way, stoic. None of this fucking crying in Parliament. Okay, thank you very much. And just be stoic and serious and British, not coming out on stage in some glittery fucking uniform singing a song. Not what was that? Do you remember the Maybot? Do you remember her coming on the stage? Oh
yeah,
my!
We thought that was bad. And then oh no, reform don't hold my beer, Tories.
Yeah, the fucking Maybot. We don't like this. We don't like this kind of nonsense.
It would be one thing if things were going really well. They're not. Nobody thinks they are. This is not the time for this shit.
This is Ed Davies politics. This is look at me. I'm a politician on a fairground ride. Like, just fuck off, really.
Why do we have,
like there is a difference between. Oh, sorry, go for it, Basim.
Why do we have to remind politicians? Why do we have to remind people in this country? Why do we have to remind everyone we're not America? Why do we keep having to do that?
I guess I'm just trying to think through it. I guess I think that we never really got. I think partially, but I think that we never really truly severed ourselves from the empire, and so I think we kind of sort of see the remnants of the British Empire in America. I think it's probably something like that, where we sort of still think that we're the same power on the world stage, or
our politicians
I don't know.
Do. They certainly do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be led by Americans on some things, but to be led by them on culture of all things.
Like we've had Elon Musk. I mean, he's not really.
I mean, yeah, there are some things I like, but then I'm also not exactly normal in that case. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, we've had Elon Musk recently.
And
hello. Yeah.
Oh no, I can hear you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we've had Elon Musk recently come out in talking, and he's not really American, but I think he could be useful for us because he's obviously come out against Farage. You can see Farage is full of shit, and I'd hope with him, he's just sort of sticks to funding better people rather than trying to insert himself into things, because he's not a good front man for anything, really. He doesn't get it.
Well, I do like him drawing attention to certain things. Yeah. And it's like, oh, what's going on over here? Isn't this interesting? Yeah. I do like his spotlight on things as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, he might be going on Lotus Eaters even.
That
did you see that?
I saw that.
Crazy.
That was funny.
He responded to Bo
That
Dave
would be
going,
funny.
Should I go on this podcast? And of course, all the comments were like, yeah, they're good guys.
I saw that. It was very funny.
And after that, I can announce now he will be coming on this stream. So yeah.
Before or after Casanova?
Elon Musk, of course. Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Well, Brutus, before or after Casanova, or will they be on the same stream?
I haven't seduced her yet. I'm still. Yeah.
You can't have that because Elon will be going after her then, and that's not fair.
Yeah, Elon will steal her from me.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got to get Keza on before Elon. Oh, I'm sorry, Elon, you have to wait.
Yeah. We're going to get Kezia on. We're going to convince her to start the deportation party, and then we're going to save England, and then we'll get Elon to fund it.
Yeah.
And then, that's it.
Is like an order of operations.
Is he? I think he's come out for the advance party, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He has. Yeah. Yeah.
He's also one of the other good things. He's going to fund any action, any legal action taken against councils and stuff over the rape gangs. Like any victims who want to do stuff, he's going to be funding that, which is good.
He's a good, when you get I tell you, it's very strange because for a long time the Americans have been very much against us, but we are in a very strange part of history.
Elon's not really American.
Trump likes us.
Yeah.
Elon likes us. and what's his name? JD Vance likes us as well. It's an interesting, because I don't think you could have said the same about Bush.
No,
or I don't know. Any
definitely
of the
not
other
about Obama.
Yeah,
I mean, still, there's still a lot of magatards though who hate us, and that's annoying.
Well, they consider us the same. It's because they think that we're the same as Europe, basically.
What I'm trying to say is like when it comes to America, a lot of people get confused because they get wrapped up in like American politics and Epstein and this, that, and the other. My attitude, and I have to remind myself this as well because I also get wrapped up in it. But my attitude is, it's a foreign country, and we have to consider, do they like us or not? And then really, that's the only consideration. Trump is pro-Brexit. And he's pro the English people and he's anti-immigration. That's really all we need to know. And therefore, Trump is good. Now, the Americans, they may have their own issues with him, and that's fine. That's their issue to deal with. But for us as the English people, Trump is great. That's my attitude, anyway.
No, I agree. I think that we were very fortunate at this sort of very dark chapter in English politics to have, an ally, for lack of a better word, in Trump, basically, because I think he was the force on the global stage that sort of started the reversal in many ways, because we did have our own various.
Well, we got Brexit before Trump.
It was around the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a few months before.
Just before. Yeah.
I think personally, that could have given Trump just the boost because he was behind in the polls and everything, and I think because it was quite close, and then probably a few Americans saw that and thought, because Brexit was the same thing, that was behind the polls, and then thought, oh, maybe we can win, and it probably did help send a few more votes out for Trump.
Well, I hate the way people sort of talk about so who's ahead politically, America or Britain. It's sort of like, well, no, we're two different politics. It's not about being ahead or behind. They're two different things.
I think we should just it's more that we are sympathetic of the plight of the other. Where did
It'll be back in a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's still streaming.
Yeah, I think it's it's more that I think we should focus more on not necessarily the similarities, but more we can empathize with the problem that they've got with, say, stuff like inflation, immigration, rabid leftists. These are things that we can empathize with, but we are very different nations.
Yeah, I think we have to emphasize. This is my point. We need to emphasize we're a different nation. I hate it when Americans say, "Oh, the Brits are behind us politically." We're a different political system. We can't by its very nature, we can't be ahead or behind you. It just is.
Mm.
Yeah, like they do have. Yeah, so go for it.
That bothers me most about Americans are the ones who say, "Oh, we're finished," and all this crap. Europe's finished, and all this shit just to make themselves feel better about themselves. Because I wouldn't care, but the problem is I see other people buying into it, and just the demoralization. And that's annoying.
Well, you have to understand about the Americans. I mean, they have a very anti-English chip on their shoulder. I mean, I say this every flipping week, but I mean, their entire society is built on. You look at Alex Jones, 1776, 1776. So their
1776 will commence again.
Yeah. So their entire culture is built on this idea of a revolution against the English. They have daddy issues. They are.
The thing is, though, like these days, most of them aren't English. They talk about hard demographics. Most of them aren't English anymore. Majority.
They have a terrible demographic situation, worse than us, that's for sure.
So,
yeah. But I mean, like my take. I mean, as I keep saying, like every week, my take is we have to save England first. I mean, this in my opinion is the key to solving this entire problem. The whole of Western civilization is being conquered. Well, we are all living in the shadow of the British Empire. The British Empire collapsed. It was stolen from us by America. The British Empire was the old world order. America is the new world order. Woodrow Wilson himself talked about the new world order. And they, after the Second World War, they won and they took over and they've plunged into multiculturalism and miscegenation. And the only people that can keep America under control is us, the English, because we created America. So the only people that can actually say to the Americans is, look, guys, you are English, right? I am your daddy. You are English, and your country is an English colony, is us. But unfortunately, the ethno-nationalists in England are obsessed with Adolf Hitler in Germany, and they're obsessed with like Jonathan Bowden himself said, like Germany is the heart of Europe. And I'm just thinking, well, hang on a minute, we conquered the world with the English. If you look at it, there's 200 million ethnic Englishmen in this world. Why are you rallying behind Germany? Rally behind the English instead. So we need to raise the flag. We need to create an English ethno-nationalism. Then we can save Canada. Then we can save Australia. Then we can save New Zealand. And then ultimately we can save America. And then we can save the world. This is what must happen.
You see in Australia with the anti-immigration marches kind of proving our point that you've made.
Yeah.
It was looked like it was generally a great turnout for all of them. And then a handful of Nazis who I think they must be feds. Because how are you this optically retarded? But they get up and start talking at one of them, and then it's just, all of them, everyone there was Nazis. They can just, that just gave them all the media, all their politicians in Australia, just all the ammunition they needed, because a couple of retards decided to go, we love it.
The British, it's very basic. I mean, you can ask any of these people. You ask Morgoth, you ask Millennial Woes, you ask any of the leaders. Are you going to raise the swastika? Are you going to do Heil Hitler? They'll say, no, it's bad optics. They all know it's bad optics.
Yeah.
We all know the British public will reject it. And yet secretly, they'll say, oh, I wish we hadn't got involved in the Second World War. I wish we hadn't done Dresden, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And it's like, mate, you know the British public are not going to rally behind Hitler. You have to give it up. This is a psyop. I'm sorry to tell you. I know it hurts your feelings. Hitler himself had a Jewish grandfather. Okay. The Daily Stormer, the world's #1 neo-Nazi magazine, is run by a Jew called Weave, who was released from prison. And what happened when he was released from prison? He was arrested for some hacking scandal. He was released from prison in 2014. What did he say? He said, I'm going to cover the internet in swastikas. I'm going to cover the internet in swastikas in order to associate white nationalism with Nazism. They understand that by mixing any kind of English ethno-nationalism with Hitler, they will kill it in the womb. And this is exactly what they've been doing. They've been doing it for years. But this is what's going on.
It's like in the Australia, it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure again. Are you just this retarded, or are they feds? Because it's everything that the feds would want. And it's just so optically, like you said, like other people will know you can't just say I love Hitler, but this lot.
Yeah. And then we've got James in the chat. James, you can come on the show if you want, mate. I don't know if you're English or where you live, but you can come on the show next week. It's an open house. You look like a smart guy. Millennial Rose feels bad about Britain's involvement in Ireland, but is ignorant of IRA attacks, murders, and rapes on English Protestants. So, I mean, again, Millennial Rose, Scottish. Okay, sorry to point it out, but there is a 1,000-year-long war against the Scots. Britain as a whole is divided. You've got the English, you've got the Scots, you've got the Welsh. Okay, so Scottish people are obviously Irish. They're the same Gaelic race. Tony Blair was Scottish. Gordon Brown was Scottish. They fucking hated the English. They devolutionized us. There is an ethnic war going on in our country.
Our boy Ethelstan, he invaded Scotland.
Our boy Ethelstan invaded Scotland. Yeah. So I mean, and the white nationalists will ignore it because they want to paint it's a rainbow, and I understand. I love the white race. I love the European race. I really do. But we've been fighting and squabbling with each other for years, and that's good and that's healthy for us because it keeps us strong. It's good for us to have wars with the French. It's good. It's healthy for us. And but white nationalists want to create this pan-European white utopia or whatever, and they just want to ignore all the individual squabbles, and so you end up with white nationalists in Britain, and they'll say they want to give Northern Ireland to the Irish, and it's like, well, excuse me, you know, what about all the English people in Northern Ireland? I don't want to give that away. That's our land.
When I hear what white nationalists are, I keep thinking that feels like an American import to me.
It is.
Yeah.
You read like 19th century literature here, and they talk about the French race, the English race, the German race. That was what race was to us, not white.
To be fair, it's not just American. I think obviously, like in Africa, you know, European people would be called white.
Yeah.
So it's colonialism and plus America, yeah, for sure. But yeah, there are different ethnicities inside the white race, and they have to be acknowledged. And we are not all the same people.
No.
Sorry, Karen.
No, I was going to say, you remember me talking about raise the colours, and I was talking about them all being Baz, you know, the Baz type people.
Did that turn into a psyop? What happened to that?
I said this before AA's video. I mean, I don't know if anyone else reported on it. But AA made a video that's a psyop, and he showed his receipts. But what bothered me about it is the English is quite within the English. And I don't mean diversity. I mean within what you would the core English. We're quite a diverse group. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's sort of like you see a Chinaman and they look very similar.
Well, they actually think the same about us.
Yeah, they do. It's weird.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Well,
but I know what you mean.
Carl Pilkington said it was sort of like, yeah, but you see white people and you see ones with blonde hair, and you see ones with black hair, and you see ginger ones, and you know what I mean, different facial features, and you see it all within. Oh God, I don't sound like a white nationalist. Because what I'm trying to say is the same type of people at these rallies. They all look very similar, and I find that odd.
What do you
on
mean?
the left or
what rally?
Do you remember the glow in the dark meme of the American feds?
Yeah.
It
The second Unite the Right, where they all were wearing khaki and sunglasses and earpieces. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what's happening. It has that vibe about it to me.
With the,
do you know what I mean?
I think there is a race war in the Civil War because you had the Roundheads against the Cavaliers. I mean, the Roundheads were literally the Saxons, and the Cavaliers were literally Normans.
That was more rural versus urban, the age-old sort of divide, really.
I don't know. I think Normans have like a more of a slender kind of face, and your Saxon has like I don't know how many Germans you've met, but you meet them, they've got like these big flat like heads, they have a different kind of head. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just the way I feel.
Well, it depends also where in Germany they're from, because that also changes it slightly. But yeah, I guess there's obviously a physiognomy, right?
So is my observation then we're talking about certain subsects of the English ethnos then?
I think there's an ongoing race war, you know, different. I mean, they said that. I've heard it said about the French Revolution as well. It's like the lower races raising up against the aristocracy or whatever. But yeah, I mean, our country is a history of the struggle between the Saxons and the Normans. It's 1,000 years of struggle.
I mean, the Normans had no real genetic imprint on us, though.
Well, they were mixed with the French. I mean, well, I don't know.
There was so few Normans. It was just basically
it was mostly an aristocracy, wasn't it? Yeah.
They brought their servants with them. Come on.
They also had. I think that they probably had more of it. I was going to say, I think they had more of an impact on our language.
I think it was only about 20,000 Normans.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
So I mean, I'm just thinking about all. I mean, it depends who you ask, and it's sort of like, can you envision the Englishman. And I want to bring in all
Yeah.
foreigners on that.
There's like a few I
What
can
comes to
think of.
mind? Is it your James Bond figure? Is it your Jason Statham figure? Is it your short, no neck?
Your Baz.
Yeah, your
Baz,
Baz.
isn't it? Yeah, it's Baz.
Yeah, there's a few.
No, but there are a few English archetypes, though. I mean, I think some foreign countries wouldn't even think of a Baz if they were thinking about an Englishman.
I've heard it. If you study linguistics, I've heard that the American accent, like all over America, the accents are very, very similar. In England, we have very different accents in different parts of the country because we're such a much older country. Like the Liverpudlian accent is so different to, I don't know, the West Country or the Geordies or whatever. Like we're just an older country. There's just more variety in us, I think, because we've just been around for much longer.
We've just had more languages, especially over like the last 1,000 years. Because you had like, was it the pre-Latin, I guess you got like the Old English, like the Beowulf English. And then you also had like the Gaelic, and then the Welsh influences. Then you had Latin. Then you had, the Latin, you had some Latin influences. Then you had like the Saxon and Norman. The one that I find fascinating is, I went up to Newcastle one time. Yeah, exactly. Pictish or Pictish. And then I went up to Newcastle and I didn't realize that they used the term ban as to refer to their children, which is literally just a Nordic word. I think if you went to Norway, they use that word for child.
Ben?
Yeah, ban. I think it is.
BERN?
I think so.
I saw that as more of a Scottish thing, but you're up in Newcastle, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it in. I'm pretty sure I saw it in Newcastle. Or maybe I was pretty sure I saw it in Newcastle. But Ben. Sorry, thank you, Jay. Yeah, James got it right. And the reason it sort of stuck with me was because it is literally a word from the Nordic languages. And if you look at it geographically, that's the shortest point to get to England from the Scandinavian countries.
Well,
And,
they probably lived under the Danelaw, didn't they? In Newcastle?
Yeah, they did. When the Danes attacked, they would always attack up that beachhead because it was the easiest one to get to.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rest of the beach line was under attack at different times, but yeah, it's just the funny thing of, so we've had so many language influences, and this is before the Middle Ages. Then we get to the Middle Ages. Then you have like, what was it, the Saxon, Norman, and Latin influences, and then on the other end of that, you have the Empire, where we start importing words from the Commonwealth. So stuff like pajama and bungalow are words that are Indian that we just imported into the language. So it makes sense. It makes sense that our language seems a bit eclectic at times, and it's because it's just had a very, very long journey. It's fascinating.
While we're talking about names of children, what do you think about my theory, my rather dark and gloomy theory?
Oh no!
No, this one.
What? That the word kid. I mean, if you look up the etymology of the word kid, it became popular in the Victorian age, and obviously a kid is a baby goat, and obviously like these dark satanic sects and people that are interested in like child sacrifice, human sacrifice, animal sacrifice, etc., they sacrifice goats, right, to Satan, and etc. So why are we calling children kids? Why not call them puppies? Why not call them, I don't know, anything else? Why are we calling children baby goats? It sounds a bit ominous to me.
The most optimistic view I can think of, because I'm trying to think it through. The most optimistic view I can think of is that young goats are considered quite energetic and mischievous. That would be the only link I can think of.
Do you believe in satanic ritual abuse, Sarah? Do you think it's going on?
Well, like,
oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
I mean, like you said, like why goats are not puppies?
Yeah,
that's what you've said before. Because puppies are energetic and stuff.
It's true. I don't have an answer. I'm sort of thinking it through. I'm trying to think, or stuff like
I don't know,
baby
man.
bunnies
Like,
or
the
something.
more I think about it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I've just been on the internet for like 10 years talking about politics and stuff, and it's just like the more and more I think about it, I just think like behind the scenes they're fucking killing children.
Yeah,
It upsets me. It really fucking upsets me, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it
I
is
watched this recent Tucker Carlson. I mean, I think we talked about this last week, but I watched the recent Tucker Carlson interview between Tucker Carlson and the Salvador president, whose name I forget, but he was talking about MS-13, and he was just talking about a member of MS-13, and he said, like, so he's in this gangster thing, mafia, and he went to this house, and they were kidnapping this baby, and they said, why are we doing this? And he said, well, the beast is hungry, the beast needs to be fed. And then so they were doing like satanic ritual sacrifice of children, and I'm just thinking, like, well, this is like some grimy, Central American.
I mean, that's the Aztecs still. That Aztec human sacrifice culture never really died. You still see it in all the cartels and stuff.
Well, yeah. So I mean, if they're engaged in it, then what are our elites engaged in behind the scenes? And it just makes me think, like because you look at politics and you look at what's going on, and it's just like a bunch of psychopathic shit going on all the time, and it just makes me think, like, are these people just killing children? Like, what? How else could they be so mad and insane as to tear Western civilization down? I just can't explain it.
It is bizarre, and I remember even back from the old, the good old Alex Jones days, where he would sneak into try and sneak into
Bohemian
the various,
Grove.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove and the Skull and Bones Society, and you sort of think, even if they're memeing, most optimistic view, let's just say that there are a lot of edgy boys doing like edgy boy hazing rituals. It's a very strange hazing ritual to just come up out of nowhere.
It's weird.
It's a bit weird. Yeah.
Like, if I was, I'm not
weird.
I'm not gonna go to my friends and go, hey, do you wanna like have a human sacrifice? Just LARP it, LARP about a human sacrifice. No.
Yeah. It's just very bizarre. Just even if you don't believe in it, I feel like that almost makes it worse.
Well, that's,
you know what I mean?
That is the one thing that is, because like all of our elites seem to be involved, like doing this. Like there's the Skull and Bones thing, which a bunch of presidents have come from. That's a university group in one of them. Why are all of our elites seem to be into this occult stuff? And these are the people who know everything. They're supposed to be very serious people. Why are they into this? It gives me pause.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just thought I'd throw that out there. She's just like, man, like, I just think that's what's going on behind this. It really upsets me. It just like really deeply upsets me that on a personal level. Like, I remember like years ago, like when I got involved in this whole internet thing, like back in 2016, and I discovered the whole Pizzagate thing, and I just remember very clearly, like, it just freaked me out, and I had to go for a run, and I ran to the top of this hill, and I was like crying and shit, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, and it seems like none of it has been resolved. Like, and I just genuinely think like this is what's going on behind the scenes. Otherwise, how could these people be so evil? How could they be so evil as to invite all of these foreigners into our country to destroy us? I mean, you don't have to be intelligent to understand what's happening to us.
Mm-hmm. So the whole Epstein thing was just disappeared, overnight. I think that was like Thara, we were talking about it at one point. We were saying how it was such it's sort of that point where you sort of actually pause and you think maybe I misjudged.
I was thinking it's actually worse than we thought.
Yeah. It's like even Trump looked at it and was just like, nope. Nope. It's
I mean, I actually said some bad. I mean, we and you, Tharian, we talked about it, like, and I was saying like, maybe Trump fucked a 13-year-old or something, and that's why he doesn't release it. But actually, I've been looking into it. Apparently, when Epstein made a pass at some like 16-year-old like waitress or whatever at Mar-a-Lago, he threw him out.
Yeah, he threw him out.
He threw him out. So I mean, that there is that video of him saying like, Epstein, he likes girls and he likes them young, and it looks very grimy and it looks very nasty. But I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, I've been at work talking to blokes. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's like a middle class, working class divide, but I mean, some of the blokes I work with, they'll joke, they'll make these kind of jokes. And it's a dirty, nasty thing to say, but guys do joke about these kind of things, jail bait and what is it, old enough to bleed, old enough to breed, and these kind of things. So it's locker talk. It's not pretty. But people do say these kind of things. But I think the fact that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for trying to like pick up a 16-year-old kind of like proves something. I mean, I hope it does anyway.
Yeah, the mother said how Trump was the only person who believed her daughter. None of the police, none of the media were interested in it.
Right.
My take is it's a bit naive, but I hold that I have been very sort of pro-MAGA, probably more than I probably should be. But I think that the people that say if there was something that actually incriminated Trump, I think that the Democrats would have leaked it by now.
Yeah.
They would have absolutely used it. They would have, and when they're in power, because they would have been able to obscure the rest of it. Because if you come out to your base and say, "Oh, Trump's definitely in the Epstein files," your base isn't going to then ask you for the rest of it, because as far as they're concerned, like the Dems are concerned, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's all that we actually cared about in there," and they wouldn't have had to be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the Clintons XYZ." But so I think that if there was actually something incriminating in there for him, but my guess was that there might have been something incriminating tangential to him, like say there was a business partner or something. And that's probably why Trump kept going on about, there's like fake reviews or fake reviews, fake accusations in there, and it's all like fake, and it most likely was someone that he knew personally or something like that. That wasn't like sort of gut take on it, but it does seem very strange that after going through it and after postponing it, then he was like, actually, you know what? No, we're good. We're moving on. That was very strange.
It does look very tricky and slimy, but I mean, I just don't. I mean, the way I feel about it is like I believe in Pizzagate. I'm a very strong Pizzagate truther. I think anybody that looks into Pizzagate, you can see these images of, like, for example, you have the image of the girl and she's like tied to a table. There's a man standing behind her. You have the video of the guy in the pink mask, and he's joking about, oh, we all have our preferences, and he's talking about children. I mean, it's really fucking dark and nasty.
I can't remember most of it, but I do remember it at the time being.
It's fucking horrific, and I don't think that I don't think Trump's the kind of guy that's engaged in human sacrifice or raping children or raping babies. So it just seems to me like like a lot of like, I don't know, man. Like it seems like, okay, we're talking about Epstein and we're talking about underage prostitutes, and okay, I mean it's bad and it's nasty, but the real nasty stuff is Pizzagate. The real nasty stuff is Tony Podesta, who's got an entire fucking art collection.
I was just going to bring that up, yeah.
Of Kim Noble. Kim Noble was a girl who was engaged. She was in had satanic ritual abuse inflicted upon her, and afterwards she ended up with multiple personality disorder, and she drew paintings about it. She's got you can Google her.
I remember some of them.
I remember some of them. Horrific. And Tony Podesta, one of the big donors to the Democrat Party, is collecting her pictures. And it's like, why aren't we talking about this? This is fucking dark and horrible and satanic and nasty. Can we just arrest all these fucking people? Can we have an investigation, please?
There's another artist he collects, who was this woman who she's a Serbian woman, and
Mladenovic. What's her name?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
she's got all these pictures
Really?
of like they're basically dead kids. That's what they basically are, with just dead eyes. And he collects these pictures of these dead kids and stuff. Oh, like what is wrong with you? And there's stuff about red shoes, isn't there?
Yeah, red shoes. Yeah.
And
the Pope wears red shoes, and Dorothy, is that her name in the Wizard of Oz? She wears red
in the
shoes
Wizard of Oz.
Well, he's Tony Podesta has done these red shoe parties where everyone's got to wear red shoes, come along to his house.
Yeah,
it is very, very bizarre, and I think that's probably what, because I like to imagine that Trump actually did want to drain the swamp, but I think that when he realized he drained the swamp, saw all the bodies at the bottom, was just like, this is way worse than this was way worse than I thought. And I think that he also saw something like the blast radius, and I think that it probably turned out that there were people in both the Democrats and the Republicans, and probably, heads of companies, and it was just like, well. But then I guess the argument is if that is the case, then the correct thing to do would be to be like, well, we had a job to do. We go in, and if the economy takes a hit, then it takes a hit.
You just need an absolute cunt. I mean, again, you need a cunt. You need a real nasty, fucking hairy, muscly cunt to just get in there and just arrest all these fucking people and line them up against the wall. And sort them out, and that's what you need. Trump is just not the guy. He's a businessman. It's all about the art of the deal, and so on.
Who was the Argentinian guy?
Yeah,
Malay.
Jewish, isn't he? Malay. Yeah.
Not Malay. The no, not Argentina. Sorry, the
Bolsonaro. Not Bolsonaro.
Not Bolsonaro. The guy who basically made himself. That was Bukele. He just. He is now dictator for life. Yeah.
What country is that?
El Salvador.
El Salvador. Thank you, El Salvador.
Oh right,
yeah, that was the guy.
The guy you saw the interview with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to retire after 4 years. He's not dictator for life.
No,
no. But I'm saying that he gave himself powers to be. I think, but then he
scrapped the term limits for president.
No, you listen to the interview. I mean, he's very candid about it. He said it was a struggle. He said, first of all, the government banned his political party. He joined another political party. They banned that as well. He managed to join another one. Finally, he got elected. And there were all kinds of struggles. But he did everything legally.
Oh, no. I know he did.
Yeah.
I know he did. But I'm saying that I think within his term, he gave himself powers to essentially scrap the term limits. But he is going to respect them anyway. But the fact is that because he's in a position where I guess he's decided he's the man for the hour, for better or for worse, and that he's going to get his job done. And people don't like him for that.
Yeah, I found a post with some of Tony Podesta's artwork.
Oh God!
Shall we share it?
I mean, I don't know. Will we get banned?
There's nothing explicit in it.
Yeah. Okay, I can't see it on the. Where is it? Oh, jeez, yeah. I got to remove this. Hang on, remove the pretty English girl. Yeah, this is it. This is what Tony Podesta collects.
So this is from
what the fuck are we even talking about here? Can we just fucking arrest this guy?
This is from that very tortured Serbian woman who is based. I mean, I don't blame her. She clearly had a lot of trauma in her childhood and saw all sorts of horrible stuff. And this is her trying to get it out. But this freak collects it. Again, these kids are dead, right? That's what that is. Again, and like kids that are bound and stuff.
It's like who?
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
Like demons stealing children.
And it's what I'm talking about. Like people are freaking out. Epstein. Like I don't want to defend Prince Andrew. Okay, Prince Andrew is obviously a scumbag. He doesn't care about young girls.
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. It's
like he's got these pictures. Like what on earth is this demon thing going after a child?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's grim.
Well, what is that?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, yeah, it's just fucking insane.
Okay, make it go away. Make it go away. Make it go away.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah. But I mean, as I was saying, like in Prince Andrew's defense, like Virginia Gulfrey or whatever her name is, I mean, he had sex with her when she was 17, and apparently legally, like he didn't actually break the law. I mean, it's not nice, it's not pretty. I'm not in favor of it. It's dirty, but he wasn't breaking the law. And yet there's all this like people blowing steam out their ears and getting angry and whatever. And it's like, well, I think you're getting angry about the wrong thing. Like
I have a feeling Prince Andrew's probably the least bad. So
yeah,
throw him under the bus. Because he's the least of it.
He's the fucking least of it. Like, can we arrest Tony Podesta already? Can we close down Comet Pizza? Can we focus on that instead of focusing on Prince fucking Andrew having sex with a 17-year-old prostitute? I mean, Jesus Christ, who cares? I personally just don't. I'm not even really bothered by it, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, you're like, can we deal with the people that are murdering children? Can we just fucking deal with those people? Anyway, yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I remember back in the old days, 10 fucking years ago, doing a live stream with Sven Longshanks, who's now in jail for hate speech. And I remember saying, Pizzagate is going to tear America to pieces. It will tear down the fucking institute, and it didn't. And I just cannot understand it. I cannot understand it. How you can have like this picture evidence of weird fucking nastiness going on, and somehow it's been washed down the drain and forgotten. It infuriates me. It's insane. They invented this entire QAnon weird bullshit.
Yeah, that was all
the energy. Yeah, it was definitely an op. They got all the rage and the energy, and they kind of like transformed it and transmogulated it into this kind of weird different thing, and then the energy got dissipated and forgotten. But Peter, I mean, the pictures are there. I mean, you just showed them, Tharium. I mean, this is horrific. Like, somebody needs to.
I can't imagine going to like Tony Podesta's house and seeing just the walls full of this stuff. Like, I'd be thinking, what the hell have I just walked into? You know, I can't. I'd just be out of there. I'm not. This is something that's. No, I'm not interested in any of this. Anything you have to say. He's even got like some parts where there's sort of like he's got the chairs set up in front of these creepy pictures, and he's got like a little seating arrangement, so for multiple people can just sit in front of this fucking awful stuff.
Yeah.
See, the older I get, the more I realise the world is not what I thought it was, or I can find a new depth of.
Yeah. This isn't that true. Yeah.
I think it's yeah.
What I can't get out. You think you know evil, and then you find a new low. Like the depths just keep going.
Yeah, it's partly why for example, the term woke got co-opted, but the term woke got co-opted, but there actually was an idea of actually now, with the Matrix, now you actually see reality. You took the red pill, and and then you take the second red pill, and you see even more. Oh dear.
It's funny how we keep going back to the Matrix for a lot of political analogies.
Yeah.
Perhaps one of the most important films of the last 30, 40 years, should we say?
Yeah, probably.
And it's a shame.
Do you know the secret story behind the Matrix? Do you know it? I'll tell it to you.
I know a lot of lore about the Matrix, but go
on. So there was a comic made by Grant Morrison. He was a Scottish comic book writer. Back in the 90s, they used to have a publication by DC called Vertigo Comics. They released a lot of like adult comics, essentially, a lot of interesting stuff. So he did a comic series called The Invisibles, and it's a very interesting comic series. It's about like a group of like sort of, I don't know, what would you call them, like resistant terrorist kind of magicians or something like this, fighting against this weird kind of like alien Illuminati source thing, whatever. And who are the brothers called that
Wachowski brothers, or
the
the Wachowski sisters, as they're on now.
They became trans. So the Wachowski brothers read it, and a lot of that came into the Matrix. And you won't understand it unless you read the comics, but you'll see a lot of the imagery and the ideas and the etc. etc.
Is the same writer behind V for Vendetta as well?
That's Alan
No,
Moore.
that was Alan Moore. That was somebody different.
Yeah.
But all of them are interested in chaos magic, and that's essentially what Grant Morrison was into. He's into chaos magic, and he okay. So chaos. What is chaos magic? Okay, so back in the old days, in medieval times, there was something called. Well, first of all, you have King Solomon's temple, right? And King Solomon built his temple with his magic ring, and he raised 72 demons, and he built the temple. Okay. And then in medieval times, you had the lesser key of Solomon. So each individual demon has a sigil, so a certain kind of symbol, and that summons the demon, right? So the chaos magicians came along, and they decided, we're going to create our own demons. This is a uniquely form of English esoteric Satanism, whatever you want to call it. So they would invent their own sigils for demons. So they write that there's a whole technique whereby you write down what you want, and then you turn the words into like a sigil. Essentially, the idea being that you don't need to worship these old Abrahamic demons. You can create your own ideas. You can worship Darth Vader if you want to, right? So this developed in England, and what Grant Morrison, the author of The Invisibles, would do, he would essentially, the idea is you make your sigil. So you write down what you want, you turn it into a sigil, and then you masturbate over the sigil. Or you, like Grant Morrison did, you tie onto your chest and you do a bungee jump. But you implant energy into the sigil, and then you get what you want, right? Grant Morrison, the author of the Invisibles, did this. You had this comic, and it was The Invisibles, and people were reading it, but it wasn't very popular. And then he wrote a sigil in the comic, and he told all of the people that are reading the comics to masturbate over the sigil, right? And then all of a sudden, the comic became very popular. This comic was The Invisibles, and The Invisibles had a transvestite in it called like Queen Mary or whatever the fuck she was called. But anyway, because it had a transvestite in it, it became a popular story for trannies and homosexuals and etc. And so obviously the Wachowski brothers, they came across it, and then they took a lot of the ideas and they put it into the Matrix. So the Matrix itself was kind of like born out of this weird kind of like chaos magic, Grant Morrison, masturbation occultism. So it's kind of like a far out story. Yeah, there you go.
What do you make of the idea that the Matrix was always supposed to be a trans allegory?
Bullshit.
I feel like that's inserted after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the comic book The Invisibles, and the directors were transvestites.
Yeah, not at the time.
So,
they were men at the time.
Yeah, they were men at the time.
Well, they still are, but
they didn't say the character switch was supposed to be transgender between the real world and the Matrix.
No.
But I feel like that could have been inserted after the fact.
I think that the only like credible claim is that apparently the pill that you take, like your estrogen or whatever thing, is like a red pill. I think that's the only claim that I thought actually sounded credible. I think the rest of them were sort of
hang on, wait. The red pill comes
apparently,
from, comes from Arnold. Hang on. Comes from the. We have to get it straight. It comes from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Total Recall. That's where it first appeared, which I think was which I think was based on a Philip K. Dick movie, a book. Sorry, but yes. Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, I mean, it's a great movie. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. But you know, he's an ordinary guy. He lives on Earth. He wants to travel to Mars. They do this thing where they get the memories implanted or whatever, and so he's running around Mars and killing people. And the doctor comes to him. He's like, "You've got to wake up. You're in a dream. You need to take the red pill." That's the first instance of the red pill. Many people forget this. Yeah.
Because I saw Total Recall, so I don't actually remember that. That's mad.
Okay. Yeah, watch it again, dude. It's right in there. Yeah, it's far out.
I mean, the Matrix draws from all sorts of things. I didn't know about the Invisible. I do know it draws from Baudrillard. I know it draws from Descartes. I know it draws from Alice in Wonderland as well, because I thought the red and blue pill was a reference to the Alice in Wonderland "Eat Me, Drink Me."
Right, yeah.
Well, you got the whole Follow the White Rabbit as well.
It draws from Neuromancer a lot as well.
It's so cleverly done. It's drawn from so many different sources and it's put together. But did you know? I really want to see it, but there's actually a film before The Matrix that came out a year before. There's a lot like The Matrix called Dark City. It actually starred.
It's like the underground city with all the bald people. Is that the one?
Are they like in space?
But it came. I haven't seen it. It's on my to watch list because I'm really keen to see it. But so I don't know much about it other than I'd like to, because I'm a big fan of The Matrix and I would really like to see how Dark City stacks up. Maybe that should be homework for the pub group. We'll watch Dark City before the next stream.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see how that film stacks up and see what's because apparently you know the first scene where you see Trinity escape from the agents and she's jumping over the rooftops. Apparently, that setup was a left over from Dark City. It's actually like a stage that built for Dark City. So they actually share the same stages and sets. But I really need to see Dark City. Unfortunately, I can't speak much on it other than it shares the same themes. I'm very keen to see it.
I think the Matrix has definitely been very influential, though. I mean, it's like the #1 conspiracy theory movie. I mean, David Icke picked up on it. He uses the word Matrix. Andrew Tate uses the word Matrix all the time. I mean, and obviously the red pill was taken up by the whole like manosphere community. It's kind of fallen out of favor now. I mean, it was a big part of the alt-right, but people don't seem to use that term anymore.
It's a black pill and white pill now. That's the
So rather than true and false, you go to like positive and negative, or like pessimistic and optimistic.
Well, I think the whole feminism debate is a bit passé now. I think we're beyond feminism because I think we've got bigger problems than feminism at the moment. I feel like feminism is kind of a twee problem to have compared to what we've got now.
I think feminism is the root cause of all of it. We should never given women the vote, and then we wouldn't be in this position.
I mean, feminism was just another flavor of Marxism, right?
Yeah, but we don't like. I think because I was a Sargonite back when he put out some of his early videos. I'm sure he put out videos as early as 2011, but I know I'm mistaken because his earliest videos came out in 2013, I believe, and I've been watching him since 2013. But the problems that Sargon spoke of back then seem so twee to me now. Like no one talks about what an Anita Sarkeesian character is doing. We're talking about actual politicians now.
Yeah, back when it was just the culture war.
Yeah, I mean we're beyond a culture war at this stage.
Yeah, here's Queen Victoria's opinion on feminism. I am most anxious to enlist everyone who can speak or write to join in checking this mad, wicked folly of women's rights, with all its attendant horrors on which her poor, feeble sex is bent, forgetting every sense of womanly feelings and propriety. Feminists ought to get a good whipping. Fucking hell.
Wait, what were we saying about women's fiction?
Were women to unsex themselves by claiming equality with men, they would become the most hateful, heathen, and disgusting of beings, and would surely perish without male protection. Queen Victoria, the most powerful woman in history. God bless Queen Victoria. But I mean, you know, women didn't want this shit, you know? They didn't want this.
Yeah, there were lots of women at the time as well that were very against the suffragettes, for example. You know.
Yeah, England's first terrorist group. Anyway, okay, so we watch how do we let this beautiful English woman escape from our grasp? She left
she's
us.
Swedish.
No, she grew up in England and she left us.
Okay.
She left us. But here let's watch her. Ooh.
Believed the same thing. Every ancient culture believed the same thing, and we've forgotten it. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother, from the Norse gods to Polynesia, from Greece to India, this pattern repeats everywhere. Yet, in more modern religions like Christianity, the mother vanished and only the father remained. In Indo-European myths, the Sky Father was Deus Voter, the origin of Zeus, Thor, and Jupiter, while the Earth Mother was the fertile ground itself. In the Norse sagas, Odin was the All-Father, united with Jot, the Earth goddess who was the mother to Thor. Did you know that the name of our Earth comes from Eartha, the Germanic Earth goddess? Again and again, humanity saw the cosmos as a sacred union, the heavens above fertilizing the soil below. As monotheism rose, the feminine half of the divine faded away. God remained the Father, but Mother Earth was no longer sacred. Not long ago, I had a vivid vision of the Sky Father himself. I asked him, "Why do you appear as a man?" His answer was, "Because humans are dual beings, male and female. You can only see the divine through the same lens of duality." That made complete sense to me. The Hermetic laws teach that everything is dual, that gender exists in all things, and that as above, so below. The divine itself may be beyond male and female, but we project our own nature onto the heavens. The Sky Father and Earth Mother are reflections of a deeper truth, that creation itself is born from balance. And when we forget one half of that union, we forget one half of ourselves.
Well, there you go. Oh, she has spoken. What a lovely
Hermetic.
lady.
Yeah, they're saying we've mentioned this before about how the sort of gays who try and keep women out of everything, when really, like, we should be ourselves as two parts of a whole.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we need the girls on our side. Girls in general, they like mysticism, they like rituals, they like religion. They like.
Do you like Asmund's take on it? What was it?
Oh,
I don't know if you're an Asmongold fan, but like Asmund, what was he? He basically said that if you ever want to find like attractive women, you can go to like a witchcraft shop because basically only the most attractive women can get away with some of the really wacky shit without without someone calling them out or essentially on their bullshit. But I don't know. It's just a very funny take.
Well, I think women are just more intuitive and they feel things and so they're more inclined to what that. Whereas men are just more rational and more aggressive, and so I think men get like beaten down by scientism more easily.
Saw a video a couple of days ago of this one girl who sort of does she does like medieval clothing, historical clothing and stuff, like makes stuff and things, and she was at
love those types of channels.
She was at the Visby reenactment battle in Sweden, and she was there for the whole week, sort of as kind of a participant, but not in the actual fighting part, but the whole stuff around it that goes on. And she's saying during the actual battle, when she was watching, she was just crying through the whole thing because it was like violence, and that just upset her. It's like it's sweet, but it's like, yeah, just you see the duality in things.
Yeah. Yeah. But we need the girls on our side. We need the girls on our side. So well done, Alvi Gunilla. We lost her to a Swede. Look at that beautiful English accent.
Such.
Guys, what's going on? English guys, what's going on? How did you let this beauty slip your fingers?
I said
I know, dude. Yeah, go on.
Stuck up. Most English women are stuck up, and they need to be brought down a peg or two. That's my take, because let's put it this way: I reckon I could pull a foreign woman a lot easier than I could an English woman, and that's a fact. I'm not even joking.
No, it's definitely true. Like foreign women are definitely more feminine. English women are just I don't know, man. It's Spice Girls, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say the worst is like the fucking plastic lips, the fake tan, that sort of look that some have.
I worked with a girl actually. She was a Zoomer, and she was telling me she was getting Botox, and she was like 22 years old. She was pretty, I was like, why are you getting? Like,
gay men, I blame gay men for this personally. They're trying to make women ugly, so they hope that more men will be gay.
I was thinking it's more that it's the ugly women trying to sabotage the pretty women.
That as well, yeah.
Apparently, if you're a pretty woman, you go to a hairdresser, she'll tell you to like.
Yes, yeah. Tell you, give you bad advice. Yeah, cut all your lovely hair off that men like.
Yeah,
that'll show the patriarchy.
Yeah, women are evil. They'll tell themselves down. Anyway, 3 hours, 39 minutes. I'm ready to go to bed. Usually we only do 3 hours. We've done more than that. It was a great show. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for coming on the show, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your input. And we'll be back next week, Sunday, 7:00, hopefully. I may have been fired from my job. I'm not sure yet, but I hope maybe I'll keep my job, and so we'll still be able to do it next Sunday.
What did you do?
I just got in an argument with someone, I was just like...
Over what?
No, I can't. No, I don't know, man.
It was really bad.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I genuinely just try and keep myself to myself, because I've got no filter.
No.
And the politics comes out, and then all of a sudden,
sometimes you just can't deal with the shit anymore. Yeah.
It's fucked up, dude. Really. I used to live in Lithuania, right? I lived in Lithuania for 6 months, and we went to this hippie festival, right?
Oh, my ex's was Lithuanian, actually. Sorry, carry on.
Very nice country, very nice people. But I went to this hippie festival, okay? And so it's in the evening, and we're sitting around a fire, and it's like we're all sitting on these logs, and it's around the fire. There's like 20 or 30 people there, and everybody is silent. And I'm the English guy. I don't speak Lithuanian. I'm just watching everyone, and nobody's saying anything. And afterwards, I asked my Lithuanian friend about it, and I was like, "What the fuck is going? Like, why don't you people talk to each other?" And he just said it's because we're ex-Soviet Union, and because they developed silence, because everyone was afraid of getting arrested by the Cheka and thrown into a gulag, and so people learn to keep their mouths shut, and they learn to not speak, because you don't know, your neighbor's going to grass on you, right? So it's just safer not to say anything. And I do feel like a similar thing is happening here in England.
Yeah.
It's happening here in England. Like I don't feel like I can talk to people, because as soon as I talk to people, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with these asylum seekers? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, it's sort of like I have a phrase: I reserve the right to be wrong. I.e., I'm not saying I'm correct. You can say I'm wrong, but please don't shout me down about it. I reserve the right to be wrong. And I feel like people want to take that right of being wrong away. And then and what I mean by the right of being wrong, it doesn't mean that I think I'm wrong. The right to be wrong in other people's opinion.
Yeah, you should have. You should be able to agree to disagree. It shouldn't be a problem. It really shouldn't. Yeah. I just read. I'm gonna do a video probably tomorrow actually on Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is possibly the gayest book I've ever read. But I really enjoyed it. I got to say, it's the first audio book which I listened to all the way through, and the prose is just so beautiful.
I was about to say, you're the first person to tell me that it was a very gay book, but it is a very good book as well.
But he's such a great writer, really. I mean, it's just so delicious to listen to the words. But what was I going to say? Oh, no, just watching the way that they interact with each other, these Victorians, they seem to be in like a constant conflict. I mean, you've got Dorian Gray and Lord Henry, and Dorian Gray will say something, and Lord Henry will be like, no, blah, 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 and say something else, and it's like a constant conflict. They weren't afraid. They were like in a constant disagreement with each other, like a constant platonic kind of like debate rolling onwards. As one person would say something and someone else would say no, blah blah blah, and boom 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 boom. There was a conflict where I just don't think you see that anymore.
Yeah, I think that one of the downsides to like social media and sort of its various offshoots is that you do tend to end up with echo chambers, and you end up with a generation of people that effectively they are told their opinions and they don't actually know how to reason through an opinion. And one of the reasons I'm a bit of a wild card, or at least I take pride in it, is because I like to think through my positions as best as I can, even though I know that I have my biases. And I also try and approach things with the idea that I'm probably wrong about something, and this other person might be able to tell me what that is if they're talking to me in good faith. But it seems to be a skill that seems to be lost, and I think that's why panels like this is fun, because we don't always agree on everything. You know what I mean?
Well, it's good to disagree. It really is. That's how you refine
get an
your
interesting
ideas.
take on the same subject that you never thought of as well.
Yeah.
Like I never think I'm 100% correct. I don't trust people who think they're 100% correct as well, because that's when they start to become tyrannical in their opinion.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole I am the science, right? That's that entire lanyard class, basically.
Yeah. If anyone thinks they're 100% correct, that means they're open to dogma. That means once they've made their mind up, right or wrong, that's it. And then they're not open to changing their mind. I'm open to changing my mind on things. You just present a good argument, and I'll consider it if it's in good faith, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's also the other thing, and I think, sorry, I'll say this in closing because I know we're trying to wrap up, but I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of us had to learn the hard way, back in 2014, whatever, when you realize actually the whole pearls before swine, you can try and reason your position, you can try and talk through your logic, but if the other person just has no intention of interacting with you in an honest way, then effectively you're just it's just you're wasting your time.
Well, you can't talk to foreigners. I mean, you can disagree with your fellow Englishmen, but the foreigner has a different set of priorities. Like it's he doesn't have the same goals that you have. He doesn't have the same intrinsic interests that you have. So he's just going to lie and he's just going to make up some bullshit. So they can't. You can't really debate with them, as far as I see it. I mean, there's no debate to be had. It's just like, we'll just leave. Like that's it. I mean, I believe in English liberty and English free speech for the English, not for every other flipping.
They can get it for themselves. If they like what they have, they can get it for themselves. We're not stopping them. If they want to be more English, we're not stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sadiq Khan this week, he was saying how he needs to, that all the Islamic community in London often feel like they don't belong. Oh, I'll say, okay, so you admit that you don't belong here, and that he was going to rectify this, he was going to give them more Gibbs, more social housing, more mosques. Brilliant.
And this is why building houses won't work.
No.
Sorry, just as a side.
Yes. Well, on that note, anyway, 3 hours, 48 minutes. Good live stream. Thoroughly enjoyed that. It's been a long one. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you for coming on the show. Tharium, Cero, Mercian, great show. We'll see you back here next Sunday. We'll see the audience back here next Sunday, 7 o'clock. As I said before, it's an open house. This is a pub. This is a pub. Come onto the show, have a chit chat, air your opinions, and this is what it's all about. This is what made our country great. Our country was great. America was great because of an open society, people participating in society and sharing their ideas and talking to each other. This is what made us great. So this is what we're trying to replicate on this live stream. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you everybody in the chat. Gary Garner, Doge, James, come on the show if you want. James, you're like a clever guy, and God's Own Prototype, and so on. And good night. That's it. Bush.